valuable thing. Oh, did we fuck up?
No, I don't need to scroll. My Elgato's hidden. It's my mic that's... They couldn't even hear me say that. Sorry, yes. I forgot to adjust my chat window. Hold on a second, chat. You're nothing right now. You're a previous chat window. But I let that one slip me by because we were... you may have noticed the stream was a little delayed in firing. I had to reset the stream timer because I hit go live and it didn't process going live for a full 60 seconds. So hold on a second while I pop out the chat and insert it into the bit. Because I meant to tab back anyway because we were in the preamble, but then I was like, oh shit, I need to fix that. Okay. All right. Mics are on. It's going. I need to move that. Anyway, hold on. Let me reset spaghetti and send out a Discord alert. We were once again discussing the concept of whether or not Warhammer 40K stole everything.
Yes. Where did the stealing begin?
And the subject of Heinlein Starship Troopers came up, yes, and yeah. I think the Space Marine thing is very true.
The Space Marine might be true, but Mecha predates Starship Troopers because Starship Troopers like late 50s, right? Like 59 or something.
Well, I guess I distracted you too. Let's see, Starship Troopers.
Yeah, no, it's 59.
Novel. I like how. Dallas. Okay, you can say that Mecha predated it, but Japanese super robot cartoons from the 50s also don't necessarily count. We had a whole conversation about how like Heinlein is considered a forefront of hard sci-fi.
Well, that's true, but I was not necessarily considering super robot. I was considering Tezuka stuff. Like,
that's all super robot. I can go back and double check some of my history videos, but like I have watched people kind of do this deep dive and discuss it, and like generally it's not really into the 60s and 70s where you start to see something closely resembling like the real robot genre and robot mecha fiction getting more military sci-fi.
Oh no, military, I agree. I just meant more stuff like Tetsujin. Oh god, why Japanese? Tetsujin 28. Oh no, that's his name. Okay, 28 Go.
Also, chat, I apologize if anything weird is happening. Like, I keep fucking tabbing away to, like, make sure my music and stuff is still going, and, like, I feel like the YouTube widget is, like, gets weird when I do that. So, like, I don't actually, you know, as usual, say something in chat. I'll switch off the soon screen, I guess, because you can hear us fine. And let me position the chat window correctly so we can at least look like we're doing something.
Maybe I just consider different things mecha, because...
I mean, Dallas, like, that is an origin of mecha, but they are contemporaries. Like, I feel like, I'm going to call you out a little, because this is a pre-stream conversation, and we'll simulate. Yeah. I feel like you have a bad habit of when I say a thing, which is you know, it's Wikipedia, so it is, like, cited sources, or at least all the sentences I read were, you know, that they are meant to be definitive and exclusive, and you're like, no, but there was a thing earlier. That's not actually how genres work.
No, you're
you know,
correct.
Like there's a whole pastiche. Like at the same time, Heinlein was writing Starship Troopers, and when was
1952.
Okay, I'm looking up when Armor by John Stakely was written.
Oh.
Because we've had a conversation about that. Okay, that was 84. That feels like that was a much later,
That's
like, pastiche of Starship Troopers. I was just double-checking. Like, because I think there is a decent discussion of people, much like 40K itself, people go, hey, how did the mecha genre get started? And, like, yes, in manga and anime, Tezuka was doing stuff in the 50s, you know, 28 Go, Gigantor. I almost said that really weird.
Well, no,
Shit like that.
Don't forget Tetsujin. A lot of people do, but he's the other
Yeah.
father of anime that gets forgotten.
That's true. That's true. There were several people working on the kind of, giant robot space.
Sorry, Mitsuru Yokoyama.
But there were
Tetsujin.
yes. So like there were prototypes, but those were very different from like what most people consider the mecha genre today. They are grandfathered in, but they don't have a lot of similarity. Like I think you can argue that Astro Boy is also like, because he's a robot. It's like it's the same sort of oeuvre. He's just not giant. But if you want to trace the simultaneous evolution of Western and Eastern mecha fiction, which, much like Western and Eastern RPGs, do have a completely separate skill tree. They have a completely separate tech tree that may meet up at the end later, thanks to globalization.
It's also definitely influenced by what they're about, because spoiler, and I'm usually the person who, I don't know, has a weird thing about Japan sometimes, but I'm definitely more pro-Japanese mecha than American mecha, because a lot of the mecha anime and Japanese things were born out of anti-war stuff. It's less obvious because they renamed it Astro Boy in the U.S., but the name of it in Japan is, I believe it's just The Great Atom.
Yeah, no, if you want to talk about the 50s stuff, yeah, that's a lot of that is kind of the post-war trauma of Japan. And even when you get into yeah. And even when you get to the original Mobile Suit Gundam as a genre definer, many people credit with inventing the real robot genre. Even if the original RX-78 is fairly magical. Yes, Gundam has always been unabashedly anti-war. That's why there's the Wow Cool Robot meme. It's because American casuals watch Gundam.
Except for maybe Seed Destiny, which was literally done because the Gundam creator's wife wanted him to. So
yeah, I mean, there are some stinkers at all, and there are some Gundam animes which are not about anti-war, but are instead about buy Gunpla, buy Gunpla, buy Gunpla.
I'm just more saying the message of Seed Destiny is very confused.
I don't think Seed Destiny is what the message of Seed Destiny is. Not every Gundam also sticks its landing, but most of them are strongly anti-war. Whereas, a lot of... I don't know if... And chat can correct me on this. We're talking about a different tabletop property. But I don't know if BattleTech is actually about anything. Other than that is much like Warhammer 40,000, it started as a tabletop mech minis game. So it is an excuse for you to buy a bunch of little miniatures and have them shoot at each other. And they have some very good video games. Old school RPG properties, which you can argue similarly... 40K also extends from, because the first edition, Rogue Trader Warhammer 40,000 was a war game, but it was also basically a narrative tabletop game. So, you can argue they're kind of coming from the same space, where it was mostly just, well, we need an excuse for the boys to do some stuff. Why is D&D the way it is? Well, it's because Gary Gygax and the homies needed things for your chainmail heroes to beat up, to get money, to hire more guys and build more castles, and then eventually being the individual guys raiding dungeons for treasures and killing big bads became the whole point, Dungeons and also Dragons. It's kind of interesting how, some of our big media franchises are driven solely by, well, we thought it would be neat to play. And there are Japanese franchises like that too, which are all video game based, but some of them even are not. I haven't beat Armored Core 6, but I'm pretty sure Armored Core usually has stuff to say. Anyway, chat, this is our thumbnail. I designed this thumbnail based on the inside joke from last time, which is we're not gonna look at Marnius Calgar again, but I was searching for splash art actually from the Universes Beyond this time. and I saw like one of the biggest images, the perfect size for a thumbnail was the image of Calgar's card art. And while you can see that he does have wispy little hair when it's blown up this big, he still looks kind of bald. So I was like, fuck it, I'll do a funny, draw a red circle and point to his head, and see if people respect that. If we end up spending more time on Lord of the Rings, I'll probably do a Lord of the Rings like real thumbnail to show that was the majority of our time. But for now, we're hitting the 40K, and we're going to talk about Debug Boys, which is why we were talking about Starship Troopers earlier.
Yep. It's all back to bugs. Oh, hello.
All right. That's been here for a while, but I don't think he had anything to weigh in about Starship Troopers.
I like Starship Troopers, but that's about it.
That's the question, Loth. Which one?
The first movie.
Okay, there we go.
The movie's fucking brilliant.
The movie's very funny, yes. Dallas, why is this Swarmlord picture for ants all of a sudden?
I don't know. Mine's not.
Discord, are you being weird to me? I've clicked it and copied it twice. Yeah, it's just not grabbing the bigger size. Hold on, let me get a direct link. I'm sorry, chat. How do I open in browser? Let me try that. I don't know why Discord is only giving me the small image. There we go. That's rendering much bigger. Let's try this. Copy. Paste. Am I just like zoomed in too much? Hold on. Let me try that. Let me change the scale in Paint. Okay. This looks more normal. How's this? Okay, that lines up pretty good. All right. Sick, chat. We're going.
There we go. The
Swarmlord.
He is the face commander of the bugs. He has
Did we?
knives for hands.
Yeah. He's got knives for hands. He's got guns for hands. He's got knives for tails.
He's got knives for guns.
He's got guns for shoulders. Chat, you can remind me if you recall from last week's stream. Did we talk about talking about Tyranid like named characters on mic? I can't remember if that was in the preamble or not.
We talked a little bit about it.
Okay, I think some of that came out on mic. Yes, this is actually so. If you don't know, the backdrop is the Tyranids are the biological swarm horde faction, which is why we were talking about Starship Troopers, because we were trying to like figure out where those guys came from. Which is there's several species in sci-fi that's like this, but they are a extra galactic horde. They actually come canonically from outside the galaxy and are a giant ravening horde that just wants to eat everybody's biomass. I believe it is still strongly implied by the fluff that they fled something in their galaxy because 40K has always got to have sequel escalation.
It can be, or it's implied that either they are fleeing something from their galaxy or they ate their entire galaxy.
See, I think I feel like they ate their entire galaxy and have no more biomass, so had to move on is better, because the old they're fleeing something worse than them is just like, stop this bullshit sequel hook crap. Like you have to stop the higher level of escalation at some point.
Isn't that there was a higher level of escalation? Is that the whatever species were fighting the Tyranids in their home galaxy just lit off like a galaxy-wide explosion, and we're like, no, fuck you, you're not taking us.
Oh, they just haloed themselves?
Yes.
You could do that.
No, fuck it, you won't.
I will say Tyranids are not very much like the Flood from Halo, though I do kind of think they're what's the phrase? Contemporary? Yes, the Flood are actively malicious, and they are also while biological, are more of a zombie plague. They are deliberately designed to be, taking over biomass infection style. Tyranids can kind of do that, but that's more the Gene Stealer side, which we'll see with the other side of the commander. But they're a little swarmy guys, and their main problem is they are canonically controlled by a hive mind, which doesn't really have like a set personality. The hive mind is just kind of like their entire collective unconsciousness. They're a little bit like orcs in that regard. So they do have psychic powers, you know, and in fact they are known for causing what's called shadow in the warp, where their presence in the system disrupts, you know, the immaterium because they've got one very large soul brain split among them. But that's why you have a yeah. They're just a giant. They're literally a giant whale under the surface. But that's why this guy is just. That is why this guy though is just the Swarm Lord. Like, the Swarm Lord is a like each hive fleet, because you have to have different things, because you have to have different color schemes, so that Games Workshop can sell you more paint.
Well, they're also, to be fair, the hive fleets are adapted differently.
Yeah. They start to adapt to different enemies. I don't. Well, they've got a new edition coming out, so anything I say about the rules might change.
I'm a huge fan of Hive Fleet Dagon. Dagon is fucking funny.
I've got some cool guys, but also you probably won't see them too much because I think they're only in Deathwatch. Unless Games Workshop salvaged that somewhere.
Oh, no, I wasn't thinking of Dagon. Never mind.
You thinking of Leviathan? It's another water one.
Yeah.
Leviathan's probably the big one. I think are they the default color scheme? The purple and bone? I think they are.
I think so.
But like I said, Games Workshop makes different color schemes to sell you more paints, mostly. I was going to say, I don't think there's a lot of mechanical emphasis on different hive fleets. There are a few different, like, optional rules you can take. But also, take anything I say about the rules of the tabletop game with a grain of salt, because they are actively rolling out a new edition, so it's entirely likely that some of these things are going to change. But I'm pretty sure every fleet has a Swarm Lord. At least one that is supposed to be their, you know, biggest, baddest commander type unit, their field commander. They're not really supposed to have personality, but of course this is 40k, so this Swarm Lord, being presumably the Leviathan one, is like one that keeps meeting and getting killed by Space Marines, so he's mad about it and eats more Space Marines.
The one that the Ultramarines were fighting, I believe, was Hive Fleet Behemoth, not.
Actually, that's right. Maybe it's Behemoth. They're all named after spooky, scary mythological creatures. There's Leviathan, Behemoth. There's Tiamat, Dagon. Obviously, we mentioned.
Kraken.
Yeah, Kraken.
But no, the one that fucked up Calgar was.
You're right. I think that is Behemoth.
Hive Fleet Behemoth.
So.
They're the black and red ones.
Well, I mean, it's a little hard to tell through the holofoil, but I'm pretty sure this guy is the default Hive Fleet Leviathan colors. Let me check. I'll crack open Lexicanum right now.
It just looks like I see purple and bone colors. That's about it.
No, yeah, I've looked it up on Lexicanum. Yeah, the Tyrannid Warrior is green. So
maybe this isn't the Swarm Lord that fucked up Calgar.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, no, it's not him, because he's holding swords, not he doesn't have hand swords.
They do have a picture of the one. Like, the art on the Lexicanum is, I think, that one, or maybe a Dagon Swarm Lord, because he's got the bluish and red. But they are a big named, like, big boy guy, so it kind of makes sense. The only other ones you could do would be, like, the only other, like, actual main Tyranids you could do, hypothetically, but I don't think GW has ever actually depicted the hive mind as, like, a single, like, a thing. It's just a presence. So
there are a couple of named Tyranids, but I'm gonna be real, Omega. I haven't put many of them up because they're all very, very boring cards.
That's fair. I was just saying, for picking picking commander, there's basically Old One Eye and the Red Terror. Those guys are, like, literally the only named Tyranids at this point. Like, yeah. So you get Swarm Lord. And let's see. So I guess we're taking it that Tyranids are red, blue, green. I think we mentioned this last week, but we'll remind everybody.
Yep, teamer.
For a pure biological swarm faction, that probably works. They do have psychic bullshit. Go ahead, Luff.
It makes sense of that Tamir colors. Fuck you, Dallas.
Yeah. And the red is like, to me, is like kind of makes sense, but they had to be blue-green because that's like the color of evolution and adaptation and like.
Yeah, no, like I
bullshit. Like, if they weren't green-blue, the red is definitely less. I guess it's because they're hangy. I guess.
Well, no, I think this combination, if you're building a 3-color combination for Tyranids, this is probably the way to do it because they are like they are not necessarily, they are not like as we said earlier, they're not actively malicious most of the time. I think some individual members, some Synapse creatures might hold a little bit of a grudge sometimes, but mostly as a faction, they're just here to eat, but they are here to eat everything possible. So,
I like a number 9 large.
But let's see, what abilities do we got? So we're 6.
So he has rapid regeneration. The Stormlord enters the battlefield with 2 1/1 counters on it for each time you've cast it from your command zone this game.
Does it start with a 1/1 for the first cast, or does it only start counting after you cast it the first time?
It's 2 1/1s every time. So the Stormlord enters the battlefield for each time you've cast it from your command. Yeah, no,
for each time you have cast it.
The weird thing is, it doesn't say each time it says your commander from the command zone this game. So if this is not the commander,
no, that is the other thing. It is just your commander.
That's a very interesting. It's very interesting that the face commander already makes himself a supporting piece in a different commander deck. But I also do kind of understand the idea. It is kind of like the Tyranid regeneration of like, if this guy does die and keep coming back, he costs more mana, but he gets stronger each time.
So spoiler, the main theme of the Tyranid deck is, or one of the 2 main themes is 1/1 counters. So there's a lot of stuff that interacts with that.
That's probably pretty fair. Spoilers. You guys haven't fought a lot of weird Tyranid forms and a lot of extra weird Gene Stealers yet, but in Deathwatch, a lot of the not just Gene Stealer, but a lot of the Tyranid stat blocks have like, Bioorgan Evolution, Game Master, pick from this list. If you want, you can just add extra shit to this guy. You wanted to have Acid Blood? Just add Acid Blood to the stat block. Like they evolve and adapt.
Free bonuses. I assume we just get free bonuses as it goes. Also, hi, I'm here.
Hi, Max is here. Yes. You missed me and Dallas being lost talking about Starship Troopers for a little bit, but we're talking about a Stormlord.
Brief thing, correction for you guys. Last thing, Kato Sicarius right now is part of the Victress Guard. He is basically part of Gilliman's personal bodyguards.
That's how he got promoted to get rid of so Titus could take his slot.
About Uriel Ventress, who was actually the original blueprint for Titus, but they never used him for the original Space Marine game. But originally it was going to be Uriel Ventress.
I mean, WH Omega lol.
His plot is the same. His book plots are the same thing as the actual things that happen to Titus in both games.
Okay, that's funny. That's probably why I haven't heard of him, because unfortunately the Space Marine games have probably replaced him in the oeuvre. But yeah, okay. No, I mean, like, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned Kato Sicarius because of memes, but also like knowing how.
Trauma.
Oh, sorry. I just realized my music loop wasn't working. So hold on a second. Let me reestablish the Dark Tide soundtrack.
Oh, I am.
You are a little quiet. You are a little quiet. I mean, I could make him louder, but Dallas was already 120. If Loth's not too quiet, that's all my output. Oh, is it? Hold on, let me dial it back a little. There we go. That sounds more natural. That's a little better at 120. I already have Dallas boosted a little bit. Okay, all right. We'll try that. If Loth wasn't super quiet, then that's good. I think he's fine. I need to turn the music down a little because it's getting a little louder.
About the best ability of the Swarmlord, because the enter with counters ability is cool, but like, and I've said it before on streams, big stats only gets you so much.
It's the second ability.
Oh yeah, that second ability.
Yeah,
is,
no.
Whenever a creature you control with counters on it dies, draw a card.
Which I assume is basically that's the idea of Xenos Cunning is basically like the Tyranids are learning from every loss. Every time you don't win, you're like, okay, that didn't work. Try again.
Yeah.
So, quick question. Because I noticed it doesn't have like the parenthetical creatures/creatures. So is that, say for instance, a board wipe happens? Do you draw a card for each creature, or is it
Let me
just?
check.
Yeah, that sounds like a ruling effect.
Yeah, that would be if a board wipe happens, you draw that many cards at least.
I mean, but wouldn't it?
Oh,
I guess
damn,
because the board wipe would happen, and then
Wait, hold on.
I guess because it would have to die last though, so it'd have to avoid dying
so,
itself.
Okay, let's say not board wipe, but just several creatures besides the Swarm Lord on it that you.
You're like your opponent casts a spell that says creatures of like 4/4 base power die.
Or like, I deal 3 damage. To
Well,
everything.
is a bit quiet. Okay. Let me check the. Oh, I see the problem on the stream. Somehow the desktop audio got dialed like way down. Okay, let me boost you that up. I did not catch that before. Thank you for letting me know, chat. 30 minutes into the video. Well, Axe got
it's
here
only
a
me
little
because
later.
I apologize. I just had to make sure I got medication. I also
No.
scheduled for, like,
I mean that's fine.
vaccinations.
You're in the stream now. I'm just saying that like we've been streaming for like almost 30 minutes, and until just now when I made that joke about Loth. Did Aaron say Loth's a bit
Was it
quiet?
last week? I was late to the stream because I was getting my medication, so I understand it.
Listen, it's perfectly okay.
I also
We haven't
walk
talked about
home,
the real life stuff.
Hold on, I
Aaron,
need to
thank
look
you.
up something because then I could check.
But what I was saying previously was, me and Dallas were already in a preamble conversation, so I didn't really into it. But Loth was here for mostly the pre-run. Axe got here a little late. This is one of the weeks where normally Gwen would be free to join us, but Summer,
everyone's dying.
Everybody stay hydrated.
I just hope I've opened up my windows. I have both fans going on. I ordered a bigger fan. It's not showing up to the fucking 7th right now, but like it's gonna be a big room, a big like 5-foot fan, and I'm so happy to have it.
So I looked up I looked up a card to check. Yes, if a board wipe happens, you would draw a card for every single creature, or if multiple creatures are killed, you draw one for every single creature, because it has whenever effect. So whenever
I assume that its death would go on the stack and so on and so on.
Yes, because of the wording.
Okay, that is pretty powerful.
Yeah,
it's very powerful.
Yes.
And actually, we just do a swarm deck.
Before we
and,
get
like,
too
some,
much
like, units.
into this, I do want to finish a thought I had though. We mentioned earlier that the interns designing these things are probably pretty self-aware. That is probably why, if the question was like other Ultramarine characters you could have used, like why Kato Sicarius didn't get picked, because Kato Sicarius is kind of a meme
He's kind of he's a Matt Ward character
for a little bit. Yeah, he was a Matt Ward character who kind of like did everything.
And Matt Ward just writes Space Marines as able to basically do fucking everything, but also be the biggest pricks ever.
This is why, if you have not watched, or if you've only watched Emperor TTS before you've found this randomly, that is why there are jokes about both Kato Sicarius and also Kaldor Drago, because like that was all Matt Ward's era of writing. So I would assume that
it's also
the
because
people behind
he
this
has the
aware.
same two. I think he has the same two like actual like squads of Space Marines, be it 3 different galaxies at the same time.
Well, you got to use the ones you stand for, but the Swarm Lord has a powerful draw engine ability for your counter deck built in. So I will say it's an interesting mechanic. Dallas, we're looking at the first card, the cover commander in this deck. Would you say this Tyranid strategy has a lot of self-sacrifice in it?
Not necessarily.
I was more thinking swarming.
It's not the right colors for it.
Okay, so because that's what I wanted to ask. So like obviously,
self-sacrifice is green-black. Or black-white, or...
Because obviously,
black.
one of the ways you could use this to generate card advantage would be to eat your own little guys. But that is not technically how the Tyranids work.
Oh no, there are some where you can... There are some cards where you can eat your own guys in red and green, but they're not in the Tyranid deck.
Honestly, I always looked at it as, I assume the strategy is they expect you to basically make a lot of units that are problems your opponents have to get rid of, and you benefit from them having to kill your units.
I will say, as much
or
as
having good blockers or good swarmers.
As much as the Swarmlord is not as popular as the backup commander, he does still have, like, he's more popular than Greyfax was as the backup commander. He's more popular than Sazrek was as a backup commander. Like, he's not a bad commander. It's just, unfortunately, 1/1 counters are the most common type of deck ever. So, like, I'm pretty sure that's still true. Hold on, let me check. Let me check tags.
Sorry, I just looked at our backup commander, and I'm like, I realized I can do a very funny A/B test for this thumbnail. The problem is that the
+1/+1 commanders
aspect ratio is not the best because
plus
she's also
counters are the second most common type of commander deck. Only at 158,000 deck lists, whereas tokens is the most common.
She's bald, you say?
Oh yeah.
Honestly, you can scroll up and you can see, but. Well, so I wanted to finish my thought, which I was going to say. So clearly, the way the Xenos Cunning thing works is the idea is it's. I was going to say kind of what Axe was saying, which is like the idea is that in general you make guys with 1/1 counters and you benefit from your opponent taking out your guys. So like even when you lose, you win basically.
I will say it does not say 1/1 counters.
It's any counter. So like counters that give
any
anything.
type of counter, which can lead to doing some very funny things.
You get a lot of counters on a lot of things.
Because you can, like, for instance, you can turn planeswalkers into creatures, and then if they die, you get it's. You can do very silly things with counters. But regardless, I think he's interesting, but he's definitely not as popular as Magis Lucia Kane.
All right, before we talk about that, I want to break this up. Most Gene Stealer cults are usually 60% of a Gene Stealer cult. Usually, most of the time, is usually a workers' revolt.
No, you keep saying that. That's not necessarily true.
That's something like
cult
two out of fair. I guess 2 out of the 6 types of Gene Stealer cults are workers' revolts.
That may actually be true. I can't remember all of the different subcult factions.
One's like literally Death World Desert cult, desert miners. Everyone's like literally just Mad Max miners.
Yes.
Or like factory workers. And then like one is literally like
I don't know. You bring this up a lot. I don't know what you're getting at because if you're trying to make Gene Stealers woke, don't do that. That's you're characterizing.
No, what I'm saying. Okay.
The workers uprising.
Most of them are meant to be dirt fucking poor. Most of them are meant to be dirt fucking poor cults.
I mean, yeah.
Some of them are.
So
I mean, but also I want to bring.
Where the fuck do they get the materials and the money to make the outfit for the Magus?
Oh, well, also, I mean, that's just everything. You're not even doing the correct of, like, because she's, like, one lady. You could pull an entire planet's works this. Axe, these guys have man-portable power weapons. That sledge right there, that's a power-fielded weapon. Their picks, power-fielded. They have flamethrowers that are better than Imperial flamethrowers, just because they need 3 arms to carry them. I think their rock grinders are, like, mechanically as good as, like, the breaching shears and the drill auger that you have in Deathwatch. Like,
I know that's the funny bit about how like the power tools and 40k are better than most weapons.
Basically, like the stupid ass power scaling where like every bit of infantry has to be doing like some amounts of the same levels of damage means that like on the one hand, yes, Gene Stealers, like their ranged weapons are usually pretty cheap. They just carry like auto pistols, auto guns, you know, maybe las guns and you know stuff like that. Occasionally they'll have like a hand flamer.
Major Gene Stealer vehicles, at least in old editions, was like just like cult limos, and now it's literally just
the first edition was just
industrial, and now it's industrial trucks, like industrial power trucks.
We're literally driving, like I said, cult limos, or like I think I looked up some of the old school like White Dwarf articles, and there were rules for like literally giving them Mad Max trucks, which still exist in 40K.
I know about that mostly
I
know that mostly from Snipe Webb's stuff about old Gene Stealer codexes. So
yeah, no, like they were away, but yes. So the Magos. So if you don't
also,
know,
I guess fun fact. Yeah,
man, it's going.
there was also a time when literally the Gene Circles were like on Terra and they fought the Custodies and were winning for like a bit. That happened last few years.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. The Custodies kind of. I know they have all this like really nice lore. The Custodies do actually kind of suck if you look at like.
So I want to say this because this
There's
is related
also
to
only
something.
1,000 of them.
There was a the last episode of this
there's
popped pretty
10,000.
decently. We're gonna see they're the 10,000 immortals basically. The
There's,
last
like,
episode
still, like,
of this popped
90,000 of them.
decently. I talked about it overall. I probably will do that kind of like I talked about it like a lore / aesthetics intro FP at some point. Not like right away after this because we are coming up on the FGO anniversary pretty soon, so I have to like run a wanted a rush together and then like keep an eye on the swivel for like summer, like that's mid-July as well for summer episodes and like write some pre-games and stuff. So I'll be a little busy with some other behind the scenes stuff going on. Need to get ready to get back to working on Rain before
My gears
the
finally
move
started to
eat
play
me.
the thing I was trying to. My original point I was trying to make was sorry.
But I just wanted to say I am working on that. I do want to say I actually like have a note, even though like some of this lore writing is arguably outdated at this point. But I did put a note that like because the Custodies are a pretty new faction, all things considered, on the tabletop, writers can't really agree on what their power level is. Should a single Custodies beat any other single unit on the tabletop, or are they just kind of like extra tall Space Marines? And it does kind of seem like fluff writers haven't actually settled into that yet. Gene Stealers themselves are always the classic example of
They're just dudes most of the time.
No. Literal Gene Stealers,
No.
not
fair.
hybrids, like actual Gene Stealers, like are always the example of like, that's the most dangerous thing about a Space Hulk is fighting Gene Stealers. They have 4 arms and their claws go straight through Terminator armor, and it's like,
Patriarchs,
what?
yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
No, not even Patriarchs. Regular Gene Stealers. A squad
regular
of
Gene Stealers.
non-Patriarch Gene Stealers are
Right,
like
before they were like
really strong.
confirmed to be Tyranids and shit like that.
Yeah, like they've always been like basically like the Gene Stealer part of Gene Stealers have always basically been xenomorphs. So like the 40K writers I feel like sometimes cleave too closely to the old Ultimate Predator thing, keeping in mind that the protagonists of Aliens are at best a shitty Imperial Guard regiment. Like the Colonial Marines
Yes.
are
A well-equipped one, but shitty.
they're an Imperial Guard unit whose budget was so bad they're still on auto guns, and should all be equipped with
yeah.
shotguns instead. They have flamers, at least in like heavy
Here's the thing.
stubbers, basically, but they're missing like the
I-
las cannons and
I'm-
stuff that a lot of other guys have. So like I just want
I'm
to sorry,
okay.
no, let me finish my thought real quick. So like Gene Stealers, they hype up them like they're the xenomorphs, but like realistically, normally Terminator squads are Space Marine veterans in like the most venerated, irreplaceable armor you can get, armed with like they can one-hand heavy weapons. Like it probably shouldn't be so much of a one-to-one conflict, but fluff. It gets like
it's
that.
a
Those
thing-
hype up units.
I just think people in general, and this isn't just a thing about 40K, this is just in general, I think it should be more accepted that in a fight, depending on the circumstances, anyone can kill anyone if they do the
'cause
right thing.
I guess to put it is like this is like some Space Marines were just beaten to death with people with sticks.
I kind of agree with your sentiment, Dallas. The problem is that usually the writing doesn't frame it as just like anybody can win in this circumstance. It's like it's always written like we're battle boarding or like we're scripting a death battle, where like this is why my guy's the best guy on spacebattles.com.
I will say before
If you're a power scaler,
Guys,
Dallas's opinion is Dallas's own.
no, I'm not going to say it. Regardless, we should probably actually talk about the
Yeah.
card.
yes.
okay. Sorry.
I'm gonna put my foot down. I'm gonna be that guy.
I just had this thing I wanted to say for like 10 minutes.
Well, then you should have said it 10 minutes ago.
Well, you guys were talking.
Well, you were saying other things.
Anyway,
Yeah, sorry. The entire thing was it.
Magus,
Yes.
Lucia
Kane.
Kane.
I didn't double. I
a-
probably should have been looking this up. I wanted to double check it. Is she like a specific Magus from like? I know they had a Gene Stealer cult novel. Is she from that, or did
Let me
WotC just
check.
pick a name? Because like technically, again, not to shill the Deathwatch AP too much, but there's Genestealer cults in that, and I've had to do a little bit of stat block writing for it. I haven't really actually referred to the individual members of the cult by name, mostly because I don't think Kill Team Marines of the Deathwatch are going to care too much. But it is technically correct that most Genestealer hybrids are still, like, people. They don't exactly have what you would call free will because they are subservient to the Patriarch, but they are individual people.
Looking up Lucia Kane, Lucia Kane is a Genestealer cult magus.
Okay, so they picked a name that sounds cool for the deck.
Yeah.
That explains so much.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this is just what the Magus model looks like. Like, she is just does look like this, you know. But as far as I know, like they just gave the Magus model a name. Basically, is what happened. They like looked at the model and were like, okay, we need a name because we're doing this.
Yeah.
And I guess Lucia Kane, you know, makes the most sense.
And so, first part, Spiritualita. At the beginning of your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. And then Psychic. Oh my god, foiling. Why are you doing this? Stimulus. Tap, add colorless. When you next cast a spell with X in its mana cost or activate an ability with X in its activation cost, copy that spell or an ability. You may choose new targets for the copy. So that is the other part of the Tyranid deck is big mana costs, X mana costs.
Mm-hmm.
But there are also a lot of cards with X in their mana cost.
Yeah. So we've got we have a commander who's relatively cheap, but does have kind of and is squishy. She's like inexpensive and physically frail.
It should be put in with that ability. That would copy a creature. So if a creature cost X, it would put in a copy of that creature. Because the creature is a spell.
Yes. So she, like I said, she herself is a little weenie baby commander, but does have a consistent source of giving you 1/1 counters, which could be used to make her less likely to die, but probably not in this strategy.
No, I'll be honest. I forgot she even had that ability.
The actual ability, I mean, that's another thing that conforms to the fluff. The Magus is the spiritual leader of the cult. They are usually like a late stage, like 3rd or 4th stage hybrid who has like all the psychic juice of the entire broodmind behind them. They are meant to be a face of the cult, as they pretend to be a religion or a political movement or a religious political movement
or a pharmaceutical company.
So it's
one of them is that.
That is also true, actually.
One
of them is just
Umbrella, technically.
I think in that case she would probably would just take the form of like a media representative, right? But the Magus is the face of the cult, who's all sneaky and manipulating and stuff, and they actually do on the tabletop have like aura bonuses and buff your guys, right? So like that lets them keep the theme of the 1/1 counters, maybe because she's a relatively cheap card, even if she has a bunch of mana behind her.
I think something like Stimulus is kind of. I think it's kind of crazy, just in the next being like it's a copy ability where it's like, oh yeah, just do X2, I guess, a second copy of X2.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty interesting one. I was just going to say that the spiritual leader thing, I think, is like, it means that you can slot her in as a non-commander member of the Swarm Lord deck as a way to put 1/1 counters on guys, so that they can die and get you cards. That's not why you're playing this. We've talked about this with commander decks before. You play this lady as a commander because of her second ability, which, as Dallas and X have brought up, that lets you do the freaky stuff.
I should also say there are a lot of creatures in the Tyranid deck that cost X mana.
Wonderful.
So she's not like bad in
Swarm
the deck.
pile.
No, it's just that's definitely her more unique ability that you're going to do the build around stuff on.
No, if you build her as a commander, you would not build her as a 1/1 counter.
Also, you can comment on like what I put in the chat. There you go. Because I just did like I took I guess the Cabal method. I just fucking put it in chat. I guess.
But yeah. No, she's very good. She's the 4th most popular commander in the entire Warhammer set.
Out of like the 8.
No, out of like any legendary cards. Because spoiler, the number 1 most popular is not a face or backup commander.
Is it a card we
Calgar?
talked about before?
Nope, it's a card we're talking about now. Or soon.
Okay then.
No,
The
Calgar is
next
the
boy.
second most
Oh
popular.
right, it's the Kelemorph. I remember
yeah,
being shut up. I've seen him in, like
Calgar
fucking...
is the most second most popular, and Bellicor is the third most popular.
Wait, I
Magus
forgot
is
about
fourth.
the fucking Gearson Starn.
So that's
Is it
actually
Dex?
interesting. I believe in this case, every backup commander is more popular than the face commander for Warhammer. Actually, hold on. Let me look.
I
up
don't
the
know if that
Necron
was
deck.
literally true for Final Fantasy, but I feel like when we looked at the commander decks, that did come up a lot where, like, the face commander was usually the more, like, I don't want to say baby mode, but I'm going to say baby mode is just, like, the best shortcut. It was the simplest and most straightforward commander for people who have no idea what they're doing and they pick up these decks to play, whereas the usually much more interesting, if not straight up stronger commander was the backup.
Like
So,
I look at
I
what
think
like
that would probably be the system.
like Lucia Kane here can do, and it's just like, oh, this requires shit that I just have to actually know each card of my deck does, kind of thing. It requires
all
like
4 of
deck
the
building
backup
that I just don't
commanders
have
are
inherently.
More.
And that's fair.
Oh
That's
no,
probably why she's the
Lucia
backup.
Kane, Lucia Kane is very easy.
No, I get
you
that.
just-
I feel like people just show me the cards you have to play in the deck, but it's like I inherently would not know what to put in the deck when looking
Oh
at the
yeah,
ability.
you just Google search or Scryfall search what has X in the mana codes.
I mean,
That's how you
there's
build that
probably other staple cards you probably want around, but okay.
I mean, yeah, but like that's just. But generally, it's just X spells deck. Like you just want to build her as an X spell deck.
Gotcha. You just.
Yeah.
I like the Swarm Lord though, because I just like the idea of just making a fuck things that just spawn
I mean,
tokens all the time. and
I like
spawning
both of
fucking-
them. I think this is definitely not one of those decks that like. I would say that Necron deck probably has the worst backup war face commander in the Infinite King or the Silent King. I think he's just kind of like
A guy.
boring.
Yeah.
Whereas like
Thank you, Loth.
even compared to other like previous commander deck stuff, there have been plenty of commander decks where the backup commander is better. It's not just a Warhammer or not just a Universes Beyond thing.
That's fair. I mean, like, because we should phrase this. We haven't reminded people of this episode. If you forgot, these are this whole set actually is nothing but pre-con commander decks. They are decks that are commander legal only, and they come in a pre-con format. They are not like a build your own set. So
I have an art thing I want to bring up about the
Wizards is just a second then. I put a pin in what Axe says, so we'll move directly to that next. Points my finger at others. But the product that Wizards is selling you with these Warhammer decks specifically is you are supposed to go into a store, see it on a shelf, grab it, and go. And you can adjust the contents yourself later, but it has to be something that somebody can see, ooh, I want that. And that's probably why face commanders are usually easier to wrap your head around, because you may be, talking about the success of Universes Beyond, you may be penetrating a market you've never gotten before. You might grab that guy who's here for Saturday Warhammer to get for Friday Night Magic, and he might go, ooh, Swarmlord.
Yeah.
Axe, what were you going to say about the art?
I've noticed with all the cards Dallas posted to us, but God, some of these cards could be fucking brighter because I can't see half the shit in these cards easily.
Some
like
of
they're like
them
actually
I
not.
think
They're
the
not lit
skinning,
well.
But I do
So,
actually think a lot
I
of these
can
cards
tell
are
you-
just
I
drawn a
can
little
tell
dimly.
Like for Gearson Starmere, like I wish I could see him better, but I can only see like 2/3 of him that well.
No, that's
Oh,
definitely the art
that's
pieces drawn
drawn
at
in
like
shadow.
sunset.
But I
Yeah,
can tell
so
you
you-
for Lucia Kane and Swarmlord, they're both only printed in foil. So
So the scans.
I know, but I'm
That's
saying like
right.
I can barely like make out the dudes around her. Like is the thing. So
Oh,
it's like,
they're
I can't
also
really make
they
out-
are also in shadow. Let me grab her art in full because
yeah,
it.
like
I looked at it
Gelsenstarn
to make a
is
thumbnail joke
just
out of it, but
like
it's-
that.
like it's a good art, but like I think it just like I think I've seen the full art. It's better lit.
Well, yeah, this is the thing we occasionally see in Yu-Gi-Oh! Of like scans of old school cards. Like here, for instance, chat is the like proper digital render of her art.
Okay, that's way better.
The guys in
actually,
front of
that's
her
way better
are in
lit.
shadow.
But it's like
But
it's way easier
you
to
can
take
see
it out.
the lighting and the high res. the full card art that Dallas just showed, because we need to actually like look at their text, see the card part of it, for what we're talking about. They're only scans of the foil, so like they are inherently a little goofed up.
Sorry, I just want to bring up being like it's weirdly hard to see parts of it because I remember this card being easy to look at.
And also I want to say we do. Yeah, we mentioned him. I'll skip ahead to him a few cards just because we have been talking about him. But what I want to say about his art, because we do also talk about the aesthetics of the art a little, is like, this is clearly drawn in like light and shadow stuff.
They made the auto stubs like plasma gun, like laser plasma guns instead of like actual bullets.
I know 40K flirts with this occasionally. This is very Star Wars.
Oh no, this is just a space western shot.
It's supposed to be bullets, though. It's not supposed to be like lasers, though.
Well, yeah, no, that I do want to bring that up. Yes, you are right, Axe, in that the artist of this piece has sci-fi'd up this a little instead of like keeping it in mind. They are supposed to shoot like depleted uranium bullets or something.
Like really heavy bullets, like really heavy shit
made from all the shit the poor factory workers have stolen and melted down. I don't think they're supposed to glow blue, but otherwise, in general, yes, this is this artist is clearly practicing for the what will not come, because so hey, funnily enough, the current license holder for the Star Wars card game, Star Wars Unlimited, is Fantasy Flight Games.
Oh boy.
I don't know if that universe is beyond crossover.
It's in Ghana. Okay. I guess
like I said,
the Star Wars Unlimited is active. I don't know anything about the game, but we could look.
I guess I should say this. It reminds me of an important thing of Thunder Junction, which was a previous set where like everyone had basically magic orb guns instead of actual pistols.
Thunder Junction is actually after Warhammer 40K.
So the artist for this was practicing for Thunder Junction. Okay. I'm getting my yokes in.
Because like these guys, it's like the weird thing of like. It's also the word censor thing of being we can't just show people having a gun, so we have to make it laser guns. That was a big thing for like toys in 2000.
Magic does not do that.
Then why is it not just actually just a bullet? Why do they have to be like?
I think generally the artist just didn't get the memo.
Honest, most people don't know what an auto stub is, so they just went.
I think it's a single action revolver. I think, isn't it? It's just a big single action.
But I mean, it's not single action, but yeah, they're just big revolvers. Like I said, I just think that the artist for this, just hand it to him. And also, this was 2022. What year was Darktide, chat? Was that around this time, or is this after?
23, I believe.
23, yeah.
I'll double check. I will double check.
I will say that I think that 40K Darktide really.
It came out in November 2002.
22. So like it was in dev when this was like working on, but I think it came out after it still, if it was that late. So like the artist would have been working before that. So like you can't just be like, hey, here's your artist
Magic sets are done at least
way
a
ahead
year
of
in
time.
advance.
Yes.
So.
But like it would be the kind of thing where like your artist couldn't go, hey, what's an auto stub, and you can just probably go to the art station of the concept artists at Fat Shark and be here. This is officially licensed as well. So like, yeah, it's technically I think an artistic error, but it's not too bad of a one. And I kind of feel like they wanted to do the
art
blue.
Makes up for it, because I think the art is so good.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I think the artist wanted to go with the blue effect because that's also not super common in 40K. Other than maybe they got the idea because the Mechanicus have some blue lightning revolvers, but anyway, they're doing it deliberately because they're doing the blue shading in the top and the kind of reddish shading in the bottom, and this guy is a blue red. Like there are very deliberate artistic choices here where we are avoiding like literal accuracy to the text in order to make a shot that is composed better. And I do like it, though it does have kind of like the shadow thing going on. So this guy is a legendary creature. Very funny that the way they seem to be doing these the way they do Gene Stealer hybrids in Magic is they are literally Tyranid humans.
Well, not always. Correct. Some of them are Tyranid mutants. If they're like, what is it? I didn't show it because it's a boring card effect, but an Aberrant is a Tyranid mutant.
That makes sense because
those guys are like
Aberrants are actually patriarchs. But like we talked about Lucia Kane, and we did not pull up the Biophagus yet, but we will. That's the guy, Umbrella guy we were talking about. But like they do have some wizards. I find it interesting that the Biophagus is also a wizard because he's not psychic, he's alchemical.
Honestly, they should have been like it should have been like
Alchemist isn't a
alchemist.
I
creature
don't
type.
know if they have like a
Alchemist
proper
isn't a
creature type.
Alchemist isn't a creature type.
Okay, that's
fair.
The caster the caster creature types we have are warlock, shaman, and wizard. So
I would have put warlock.
was very uncommon
Wizard
at this
probably
time.
works the best.
Warlock didn't start getting more common until
Like, it's-
Outlaws of Thunder Junction.
It is a. I do want to say it's a
actually-
little funny, but anyway, like.
Let's get through this effect so we can show the Biophagus and talk about this.
Well,
Oh well, we're gonna talk about this guy decent. Like I said, this guy's
Gelson
actually a very popular
Starn.
commander. Yeah.
yeah. So Gelson Starn, Ward 2, which means if you want to target him, you have to pay 2 mana.
He's got like probably I think a protector field or something.
No, he's just that fast. I actually
Yeah,
don't
that's
think
what I
the
always
Color
associated
Morph doesn't
with
have a
it.
force
Is
field.
He does have like
Dodge.
unnatural agility, like
and
3
then
or something.
3 auto stubs. Whenever a source you control deals exactly 1 damage to a permanent or player, Gelson Starn deals 2 damage to that person or player.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
This is a
Fucking-
pinger deck.
Just tap, 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 boom, tap, boom, tap, boom.
There's
Like-
so many cards that are just tap, deal 1 damage, or this card deals 1 damage, or like
And he is specifically blue red, which I think is
Yes.
Is it? Yeah.
I was about to say blue red, specifically the colors to do that nonsense.
Yep, that is the
So
colors of
this guy
those.
was very well designed, and I do actually.
I have
believe,
seen
'cause
people
I
and
did do a little research into this unit to convert like tabletop stats to the RPG. I do believe that is actually the way the third arm is supposed to work. Is basically like the Color Morph gets like extra shots or extra rate of fire you wouldn't expect, and can just sometimes take snapshots. So like
I
he's
have
just
seen-
literally drawing an extra gun and chip shotting you.
Honestly, how I saw it is more of you the planeswalker, the caster person shoots a guy once, he shoots it twice.
Well, yeah, it's usually it'll also be your little guys shoot them with arrows or
Oh yeah, true.
wizard
And he does silver
bolts,
shot.
or like there's a lot of ways to deal 1 damage, exactly 1 damage. I'm gonna be real. I think he's overrated as hell.
He's
He's fine, but like
He's
like I
annoying to
said,
get rid of.
he is 19,000. Like let me check. Is it because I think he might be encroaching on like one of the highest played Is It command. Yeah, he's the second most built Is It commander. That's ridiculous.
It was probably because he was also very accessible to play in paper.
He's $50.
I meant when the precons came out, they were probably easier to get than other cards.
I disagree. No, because
I mean, I don't
understand,
necessarily want to
most-
debate the
No, that's not-
I don't know
economics of
anymore. I
Magic
don't-
for Dallas
I
because
can tell-
he's more.
I can tell
experienced in
this.
that for sure.
I can tell you this, Act. A lot of commander themselves, like the commander cards, are usually very cheap because a lot of commander cards don't tend to be good in other formats. Like the legends themselves.
Okay.
Generally, the only ways legends get a lot of money is scarcity, which is only if they're like a secret lair or something, or like these limited print run precon. They are powerful in another format, like modern or standard, or that's pretty much it.
So I think honestly, it's the classic issue of the main thing is just first of all, this guy cheap as hell. He's literally 3 for a 3/2, but he has Ward 2, so it's like he's harder to kill than you'd think for that. And you don't ever send this guy into combat. You don't ever use that 2 toughness. You don't care. He just sits in your back row, plinking away at your opponent.
He stands at the horizon and shoots people from a distance.
As you know, you're chucking
what's-
lightning bolts and bomb minions and shit. He's out here blasting.
Omega, he's got a sniper.
He's in the back.
Yeah.
But like, I think the main thing is that like we've run into the unfortunate problem, Dallas, where I think a lot of people think of Commander as the format of like, oh, this is where all the creativity happens in Magic the Gathering.
Yeah,
That's where all the smart
sometimes.
people are.
No,
This is the deck that anybody
Whoever
who
thinks
wants
that
to play.
about Commander needs to get a lobotomy If you think that's where the smart people
I don't
go.
actually know how many people think that, but it is kind of the thing I've heard occasionally of like because there are some people who show pretty hard that like Commander is the real Magic the Gathering. I think the point of Magic
Actually,
the
it's
Gathering
more of
can be anything.
It's
where
more
the
of
jank people go. It's not where the smart people are playing Pro Tours and making money.
I will say
I
will say for I think like at least a few years ago, people saw Commander as the format that actually had people playing it.
It definitely, I think there was some popularity concerns. I do want to say that I think that's another thing the
It's
Universe
still
Beyond
by far
has
the most popular.
alluded, is that it's made playing at least sealed, normal standard a little more
limited
popular.
Limited has also been on a pretty steady rise the last couple of years, even pre-Universes Beyond.
Yeah, I mean that's
The COVID boom did that.
I
Yes,
am not
COVID really helped
a
I meant like the limit. I meant limited play.
I want to say this. I do not need to be that image of the fat guy holding a katana saying, leave the corporation alone. Like, I don't need to carry water for Wizards of the Coast. But we do talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot, and we talk about
Hunk.
Magic a decent amount. So
You're not Hunk protecting Umbrella.
So there probably isn't a different version of that meme that is Hunk. That's a lot.
I was given finished after I just finished Requiem. A friend of mine sent me that meme, and I did not like it because I actually liked Hunk as a character.
But what I want to say is, like, we don't need to carry water for WotC, but comparing and contrasting to Yu-Gi-Oh!, the other card game we usually talk about, Wizards has a much better limited scene than Yu-Gi-Oh! Does with Draft, which is weird because in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, there is at least one Draft episode, like from the OG series, which also probably showcases how dog-ass Draft is in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Joey gets his clock cleaned pretty badly, I think.
It's the problem
but,
is
like Yu-Gi-Oh is not actually, with their rarities and stuff, not actually optimized for limited draft play. They still do it, but the way that archetypes are designed is usually not the best. Konami of Japan has said they're like trying to make archetypes in core sets more self-contained. Less of the like you're waiting for a whole other half of the archetype before this deck is playable kind of a thing. That still doesn't necessarily fix it. What I've heard, at least out of you, Dallas, and several other people, is that Magic Limited, like draft formats, are usually a lot better molded these days, so are much more like accessible and fun to play.
A lot of people jokingly say Wizards build sets for Commander, which I don't think is true.
No, I'm pretty sure
I will hold water for them on that. I will 100% say they build for limited over standard. The 110%. They care more about limited than standard. Like,
but
that's
like I said, there is a certain, especially if Commander is the most popular, you're going to get a certain amount of net decking involved. This is a card that just screams. You look at it, you understand what the deck built around this as a Commander does. He's a legendary creature, so you go, this can be a Commander. You read what he does. I understand perfectly. I'm locked in. This is the easiest way for me. In my Commander pod, I'm that guy. So this is how I'm gonna win. I'm just gonna hee hee ha ha pew pew my buddies.
This is an entire deck based off of in my opinion, one of the most. You know what? I'm gonna go for the pun. One of the most prodigious magic cards, Prodigal Sorcerer, which is a 3-mana 1/1 that says tap. Prodigal Sorcerer deals one damage to target creature or player.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
It's like I think it's from Legends, which is the third set. Also known as Tim.
Yeah.
Tim, right?
The image of him, yeah. So like that's. This is a card where, like I said, you can read this guy, you can see what he does, and you're like, perfect. He's cheap to put into play, and we just start blasting.
I just don't. I'll be honest. I built this deck. I played it twice. I took it apart. It's just not that fun of a deck.
I guess to me,
this seems like it doesn't.
I guess to me, it seems fun. Like when I watch it, it seems fun. But I guess it depends if you actually like blaster decks or if you get tired of just kind of doing the same gimmick
it's
over and
just
over.
kind of like a weird deck where it feels like it's an amazing standard deck, but it doesn't really fit in Commander. Because it feels like you're doing more than most people most of the time, but you're doing less than most people some of the time. Like, you don't really have any huge turns unless you build it as like a one-turn kill deck, but that's boring.
It's I think a kind of card that appeals to a certain kind of player, and I don't remember which boring white guy name is which archetype of Magic players, you know, Timmy Spike, that sort of a thing. But there are different archetypes of guys who play Magic, and there are people who are just going to gravitate towards, like you said, you're just always doing something, right? You're always doing a little bit of something. You're always having a little interaction. Like every single thing you play that does damage.
I don't know if there's a Magic guy archetype for it, but it definitely feels like a tempoed burn deck.
Thank you for pulling up the next card, Omega. I was gonna.
I grabbed the Biophagus because we did want to talk about it. I think we've exhausted Karn. Guardsman.
I love this little fucking.
I love how that
this
Guardsman's
guy's cranium is one size too big. You should probably not let him do that to you, buddy.
I think he got surprised.
The Guardsman has a choice. Look at his arm.
Oh wait, you can see he's being tied. He's tied down. Yeah.
Yeah, he's tied down. He does not have a choice.
So the Biophagus is the bioalchemist of the Gene Stealer cult. He is the guy who doesn't have the biggest brain. Actually, I don't even know.
Like, would you believe me? There's an entire like
the biggest brain.
At least from like in 9th and 10th, and in 9th and 10th there was a whole Gene Stealer attachment that was just about Biophagus it was just like a space corporation that reverse engineered a patriarch.
I've looked at the fluff. Yes, there's a whole lot of like. It turns out, by the way, that despite their distaste of organic things, the Mechanicus do not only bad touch Necron technology. Some members of the Adeptus Mechanicus have definitely done some very wrong things of like experimenting with biological technology from Gene Stealers and Tyranids. And some of that bleeds over into the archetypes of pre-existing Gene Stealer cults. But the Biophagus is your science guy. Down to the point where, like, we've talked about how, like, normally, you know, the Gene Stealer cult kind of spreads, you know, xenomorph-style bite infection, you know, the Gene Stealer's kiss, spreads biologically, you know, through that. The Biophagus can also just put some shit in the water table, and just start making broodkin that way.
Some Gene Stealer cults happen
umbrella
nowadays.
bullshit.
Some Gene Stealer cults starts nowadays because it's just a thing that like one of the biggest medical outputs is run by that secret Gene Stealer cult that blew up a Gene Stealer, drew a patriarch, and then just took samples and stuff, and then put it in all of their medicine, and then basically sends it to like basically taints a bunch of medical provisions that goes to go to a bunch of attachments over the galaxy.
Living in 40K sucks.
So some of your morphine will turn you to a Gene Stealer.
So it kind of follows. We talked before about him being a wizard, but he is a human Tyranid wizard, and he has genomic enhancement. Tap add a mana. This mana is spent to cast a creature. The creature enters with a 1/1 counter. Pretty typical for their style.
These are like real strong, like just power crept, like mana dork.
No. I mean, it works for his role, though, is what I'm saying. Like
it taps from any colors.
Like
it makes sense. This card is like one of the most used 40K cards outside of 40K decks.
Oh no, this guy just goes. I mean, so long as you can put green cards in your deck, this is a great guy to put in your deck because, like you said, he just adds any mana for free, and then if you use it to cast a creature, it can generate a 1/1 counter, which is not like
probably bad. He's probably bad in strictly mono green decks, just because they have better mana dorks for cheaper that only produce green. But if you have even one other color, this card suddenly becomes worth it.
Yeah. Like he adds an extra dimension to your mana, and like I said, even if you're not playing a 1/1 counter deck, your creature gets to be +1/+1. That's not bad. Like, it's basically for free with your mana dork. And if you don't use it to cast a creature, you're fine. Yeah, in the Final Fantasy counters deck, this is probably pretty stonks.
Yeah. This card is one of my faves. I wish he wasn't so expensive, or I would put him in more decks. But he's like $20.
I understand, yeah.
Oh, okay. Honestly, the problem is that they can't reprint them.
The usable cards from these decks are like the ones that are usable in multiple formats, not just Commander, are very expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, saying it's not like they can just reprint them. They, because they did do that during MTG Arena. They could just reskin these cards. You know.
I want them to reprint them and do a second batch of 40k decks. Is what I want them to do.
I
would
that I think
honestly,
is more likely given the success.
Oh god, they could
beyond.
so on. This is a weird thing for me, but I feel like they could totally do. For precons, they're just each of the 4 different types of chaos, but that's maybe I know that's maybe a bit weird.
No, I want them.
I mean, you
want
could.
them
That
to,
might be a
or
little,
they could do,
too much chaos time.
or they could do Eldar. Eldar Bacant, then like Eldar.
I want them to do just
Knights.
Eldar, Orcs, Tau, and another Imperium deck. That's what I want.
Votan.
I
Votan are
mean,
technically Xenos.
in an ideal world, yes, but
Votan are technically
I
Xenos,
feel like
so you could do a 4
not
Xenos
do
deck.
An Imperium deck.
I mean, Dallas, you're literally you're quoting a joke I heard on Poorhammer, which is like, here's how kill team boxes work. You put Space Marines on one side, or not kill team, like combat patrols. You put like Space Marines on one side, and then you can put literally anything on the other side, and it will sell because Space Marine players will buy the box for Space Marines.
Maybe you know what that would be interesting. If they did a Heresy era Imperium deck.
Oh yeah,
Chat brought that up earlier. I think that would be another very interesting thing. That is technically a separate game line, so like you could do different branding.
I just want an orc deck.
Honestly, the red green, and maybe red green black bits, just because the red green black for like their machines, but red green for like all the characters.
As long as you have red green in it, I don't care what else.
Oh no, I think orcs
orcs have to be red green. They have to be red green.
If you're giving them a third color, it probably is.
Third color is probably black. Well,
it's black, especially for like.
It's not even just that. It's that red, green, black. The color like that. That archetype is usually about like swarming, sacrificing your swarm to make bigger guys.
Yeah, because you'd have Gretchens, which are probably like
that's
black and
that's called Junk, which is all
let's
about.
say, yeah, you sacrifice the Gretchens and
Gretchen token generation.
Oh god, that'd be so good.
With the goblin subtype.
There's a teleporter gun where you sacrifice. It's like literally just the goblin because it's just the goblin teleporter gun, but it has a chance to like cascade.
I would also absolutely love it if they added the new creature type orc, but it's just orc spelled with a K.
With a K.
I
mean, that would be a good way to avoid crossover, but I think for Commander, it would be funnier if they were actually creature type orc and goblin.
I will say
orcs are also plants because they're fungi.
Honestly, I would say like if they did that orc with a K, Gretchens would be orc goblins.
That would be true. That would be so funny. No, like I said, hey, Wizards, if you're watching, I know it's probably James Workshop holding you back because you're. I
would also like a fantasy set would be great too, but that's me.
An orc deck would be great. I would also like a Eldar deck.
Yeah, Eldar deck would be.
It would be very funny if you made it, Drukhari versus Eldari or Asuryani, but you could technically put anything in there.
It would probably be both types of Eldar. I think I'd hate that.
Maybe
Lilith Hespero as the reverse commander.
We nixed Tau and put in Drukhari as the villain deck, quote unquote.
That would work as a bad guy deck. Like
Drukhari would just be blue black and like Eldar red white. I think.
Tau would.
Eldar would be blue white. Eldar would be blue white.
Yeah.
If you wanted to give them some cards that are red
color, you might give them red for like
Aspect Warriors
and stuff, and like some of the Aspect Warriors.
Yeah.
But like no, Eldar are definitely blue white normally.
I guess I'm used to like I guess I'm used to thinking about like
Dark Eldar are blue black.
Actually wait, Eldar Corsairs would be red white.
Okay. I finally finished eating. I can probably try to help steer this on track.
Well, we've had Shadow in the warp on screen for a little bit. We all of us together were kind of jawing versus.
This is my favorite. I'll put it this way. This is my favorite card in the entire set. I think this is one of the best cards in the Warhammer set. It's obscenely powerful.
Okay, so it's also strong. Not just you like that it's this guy getting his ass his head blown up.
Oh no, I should say this isn't my favorite card. This is one of the most powerful cards in the set.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, sorry, that effect, that is fucking busted. What?
So, Shadow in the Warp enchantment. First creature you cast each turn would cost 2 less to cast. So 2 less colorless. That doesn't have a minimum, so I assume that it can completely remove the colorless cost.
Yes.
Alright, and then whenever your opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, Shadow in the Warp deals 2 damage to that player. because you're using a psychic power. Die.
The second effect is like, it's cool. Like, always have hate bear effects. Like, that don't make the game miserable to play. I always encourage that. Instead of doing things that make your opponent unable to do things, do things that make them able to do things, but punches them in the face with it.
Tax.
Yeah, it's a tax dragon.
Tax rather than stacks. That is my philosophy.
I like my dragons that force me to pay my taxes.
To put this in Yu-Gi-Oh terms, this is a tax dragon, but also there's no Yu-Gi-Oh equivalent to this first effect because you can already special summon a shitload. This is just like, hey, all your creatures are cheaper.
Also, both of these effects for 3 mana.
Yeah, the fact that it's 3 mana is the dumb thing.
No, it's great.
Like, this effect is on other cards, but for 3 mana, in worse. Like, spoiler, red and green. Well, red is kind of mixed, but red-green together is the color of big stompy buttholes.
And
that is your color identity.
It fits the Tyranids perfectly because Shadow and the Warp, like I said, is they're all their psychic mind is together. So usually you get the Shadow and the Warp when there's a lot of Tyranids around, which means
also,
they're busting out the big guns.
The other reason I absolutely love this card, this art is fucking phenomenal.
No, this is great. Like, there's a pull quote from an Astropath here, which I'm sure is from a 40k novel or like a short story in a codex. Yes. But that is what happens when Tyranids arrive. Is if you start doing psychic shit, you start fucking exploding.
If I'm not unremembering correctly, I think this is literally the codex description of Shadow in the Warp.
It fits. It would fit. So that's great.
So
Kim
good.
Sokol, you're killing it. I think they had some good Final Fantasy art too.
Oh yeah, no, the art for the Tyranid stuff is like, obviously the Tyranid art is more my aesthetic than most, so.
Well, speaking of it, let's talk about Sporocyst.
The strong.
By the way, if you didn't know what spore mines look like, they're really gross. Go ahead, Lon.
May I have just one quick comment about the Shadows in the Warp?
Yeah, go for it.
The guy screaming just reminds me of the fucking Scream painting.
That's fair.
Kinda is.
So
although his head's
is a
upside down.
But... it's not a biovore, it's a Sporocyst. It fires spore mines. If you played Space Marine 2, you fucking hate spore mines because they're unblockable.
I mean, I think you should hate spore mines, period, if you're anything fighting them.
Well, we'll finish Deathwatch and find out.
Flying head?
Yeah,
they do look like flying heads, yes. The spore mines are intelligent spores, which are probably at least partially animal, which fly towards you and explode. So the Sporocyst, by the way, is a 2x, 1 green. So this is the first of the actual XX guys we're talking about.
Yeah.
And this he's ravenous, so he enters
keyword.
with yes.
When a creature enters with X11, if X is 5 or more, basically, if you pay 5 or more into X, which you probably won't on this guy.
No.
Unless you're just drowning in mana.
Oh, hey, Shadows of the Warp.
That still would. You still need to pay 9.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, because spoiler: to pay a double X cost, both X's must be equal.
Oh, okay.
Never mind.
So it goes like but there's a good reason for that. Defender, which means it can't attack. When Sporocyst enters the battlefield, search your library for up to X basic land cards. Put them onto the battlefield tapped.
Oh, yeah.
So this guy just is battlefield control.
Spoiler! Surprise ramp!
Yeah,
Surprise
like
ramp, motherfucker!
It takes a lot of
land ramp in pure green. No, that works. That works.
It takes like for 1x it's 3.
In Lucia.
And it basically, if you're doing this on the curve, this is basically doubling your mana production.
If you do this,
not doubling. It's like
0.5. If you do this with Lucia Kane, you pay 3 mana and then the 2 from her ability, and then you search 4 lands. Because you make a copy of one that enters.
Oh, yeah,
two.
X equals 2.
So
yes.
both copies, and this card is absolutely insane in an X spell centric deck.
Yeah.
Where you can keep cheating that.
Yes.
So you when you do this sort of thing, also, you can mass propagate your lands.
Like I said, this is a card that is really mediocre in the average deck. Because if you're just paying this for 3 mana, get a basic land, get a 1/1 defender, that's cool. But there's a lot of stuff that does that. But in a deck that is specialized to X spells, this card is insane.
Which obviously, you know, it comes in a deck that can be that way. So, you know, you've got some choices already in your pre-con. All right. It's pretty all right. I see the motion. That's a fun one. Let's grab our next guy. Speaking of the blue-reds, this is a Winged Hive Tyrant.
Hive Tyrant with a organic bazooka.
Yeah, firing, you know...
I just remember that there's certain hive
slits.
fleets, their entire thing is that, like, they shoot you with organisms that turn, like, your organs, other organs, they shoot you in the head and your brain turns, everything eats out through your spine.
No, I think all of the hive fleets have access to this sort of living ammunition. Like, they just shoot flesh-boring beetles and maggots at you, or they shoot acid at you. Yeah. It's real nasty. So this guy's got a 4/4 for 5. He's blue-red, is flying and hasted, and does have Will of the Hive Mind. Other creatures you control with counters on them do have flying and haste. Which, again, they literally say in the fluff, he's a Synapse creature, so yes, this makes sense. He is literally making your other Tyranids better.
Yeah, well, it doesn't have to be like this card.
I know, but like
I love in so many decks. Like any aggro deck that has blue-red in it and counters, just auto-include. Love it. Also love the art.
No, good art.
Like
Freaky
Hive Tyrants are one of my favorites.
Yeah, Flesh Borer. No, makes sense. This
Aaron
guy
actually was a fan of Tyranids. I don't
know if he's a fan of Tyranids. I think he's played against some Tyranids.
I'm aesthetically a fan of Tyranids. Unfortunately, I hate the way they play on the tabletop.
I mean, they
Gallus wants to play a different sort of swarm army.
Yeah, like orcs.
I mean, have you ever played? I mean, have you played like I think it's like what's the name of their orc where you play only all the giant ones, like the fucking like beast.
Well, then you're not playing a swarm army.
Like
no.
It's like
Generally,
I'm so loving just this fucking dumbass image. Instead of, you know, having giant claw hands, this guy is holding 4 swords.
Yes.
Yep. No, that's how Tyranids work. They're bone sabers. Sabers is a little interesting. I don't know if that's a more recent way they're typed in like later codexes. I know these as bone swords, all one word. But yeah, no. This is one of the handful of Tyranid living weapons that is not like literally growing out of their hand, and also is just a sword. Like, it's there. Let's see. It's a 3 mana, 1 green equipment. Whenever a equipped creature attacks, put 4 1/1 counters on it because you've got 4 bone sabers, and then the equip cost is 3 colorless.
Check out these cool swords I have.
Like, this is a good card, but funny enough, it's better in not the Tyranid deck.
I mean, yeah.
Probably be better in an equipment deck.
No, not even an equipment deck because it's green, so there's not
green
a lot of those. But no, it's better on. It's in 1/1 counter decks, but it's specifically on commanders where there's an effect when you put counters on them, which those.
Oh, because it triggers 4 times. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, it triggers once each combat. I'm pretty sure. Because that's one instance of putting counters on. But still, a free instance of putting counters on is always good.
Also, I mean, like, the cost might be a little steep, but it's, 3 to play, 3 to equip. Like, 4 1/1 counters is not nothing. That's not anything to
It's also insane on commanders that do, like, multiple combats.
Yeah.
But, like, I know we're not talking about it yet because we have this and the next thing. But in the Marvel set, there's a commander that this card is absolutely insane on.
I can't wait to go for the Marvel set because I heard I've accepted these like cool cards in there, or at least some fun ones.
It's very funny. We'll get to it eventually.
Well, let's talk about another weird guy. The Zoanthrope. These guys are also really annoying in Space Marine 2. These are your floaty psychic boys. They have giant brains. They float. They shoot lightning. Usually it's green, but I understand why you went with blue because it's a blue-red card. Your magic.
Also, they don't want to.
I have a J question for you.
Step on Necron's toes.
What would be the Tyranid version of Divine Skeleton Death Blast?
What would be like? Bug doesn't have as many syllables as skeleton. Damn.
I mean, it
don't know,
has to be
actually.
Zoan. It has to be. It has to
Divine
be like
Hive Mind
brain.
Death Blast.
Divide.
And also,
Playing like brain.
again,
like
you make
Crusher
that
Blast.
joke. The fucking Zoanthropes in Space Marine 2, like, they can just do their equivalent of, like, Final Fantasy 14 piss puddles at you, but they also just shoot fucking vector cannon blasts. Like, they'll just charge up big-ass beams.
I was not making the joke in bad taste. As you can
No,
tell.
like I said, like they'll get you. That's the warp blast, baby.
It's X.
And they are
X.
Yeah, it's an
X.
X. It's an X creature.
It is X. Is it red blue?
It has the Ravenous.
Ravenous.
X. Holy shit. Yeah. Oh, yeah, 0/0. Yeah.
Flying
Ward 2. Also true, by the way.
really
They are
good
both
already.
flying guys, and they do have psychic force fields.
And then Warp Blast. When Zoanthrope enters the battlefield, it deals X damage to any target.
Yeah. How long did you get to cook it? How long did it get cooked in the spawning pool?
Yeah, basically. It's how much are you putting into the base cannon?
Actually, this is really curious. So, is this a card that you run with the Kellermorph as your commander, or do you run it in a, because it's an X, do you run it in a Lucia Kane deck where you happen to play the Kellermorph as a guy?
I would actually argue I mean, you could put it in the Kellermorph deck. I think there's just more efficient cards to do with that deck.
Yeah.
In my opinion, this card goes in neither. It goes in because Lucia Kane is a weird X spell deck where it's focusing on casting X spells that are slightly smaller than a normal X spell deck does. There are some X spell decks where the entire point of the deck is to put as much mana into the X spell as possible, and to me, that's where that goes.
I mean, I don't remember if there were a lot of X spells in the Final Fantasy set, but we talked about about blue-red. That is the combo where you cast a lot of fucking spells, and sometimes you cast big-ass spells.
But realistically, this is a 5-mana deal 3 damage. Like, if you want to play this at a good rate, to me, this is a 5-mana 3/3 that deals 3 when it enters.
Yeah. You pay X 3X.
Yeah.
So you get 3
or 5x
counters.
if you want to get the Ravenous.
Yeah. Maybe you hold on to him and go for the Ravenous.
Do this in a Gelson Starn just because, like I said, there's more efficient ways to do 1 damage than.
That's what I was saying, right? Like, because I think Starn is like. This does work with Starn because it's a blue-red that inflicts damage to a target, but the Starn deck definitely feels like it's not an X deck. You're playing as many cheap, small damage dealers as possible.
Yeah, cheap, small
so
pingers,
that you just
cheap, small ping spells, just as many as possible.
Because the idea is just you're basically tripling any damage. Any 1 damage you deal becomes 3 because of the way his block is. So you just, like, it's a burn deck, basically. It's actually no. It is to exemplify Yu-Gi-Oh. It's a Dark Room of Nightmare deck.
Well,
you do lots of little burn damage over and over again, basically, and hit him. All right, let's talk about another freak boy. This art's very funny. Trigon Prime. So the Trigon is the burrowy guy, and a Trigon Prime is a big burrowy guy. And here he is pictured burrowing into Necrons.
This card is hilarious.
Which I'm sure, by the way, the Trigon Prime finds very funny because these guys have no biomass to eat.
Yes.
But
I don't know to talk about that really because it's like I think it's just a thing because I think also because they also have like the best weapons to kill all the Tyranids because they have weapons that literally just deatomize you.
It's true.
Yeah, but also the Tyranids can just rip them apart. Because these aren't Necron-like special guys.
I don't think the Tyranids, it's probably because they're both Xenos. I don't think Tyranids and Necrons fight a lot, but it does seem like that would be a pretty good combo to do because, like, the Necrons are death, the Tyranids are life. It's real easy.
Yeah.
Great pull quote, by the way. Great flavor text. The walls of the Necron tomb were unbreakable. The ground beneath it was not.
That keeps being a recurring thing in Tyranid invasions. Honestly, you learn. The ground is not safe.
I mean, that's just Tremors, baby, or Dune. 40K's stolen from Dune a lot.
Technically both at the same time.
Yeah, they can. They just don't.
The
It doesn't
Tyranids
give
are
them.
eating the copper wiring again.
Trigon Prime is definitely more graboid scaled. And then the
Yeah.
sequels add, extra guys. There's the heat-seeking little raptor guys and the flying guys. So, like, we do some different stuff. Anyway,
Subterranean Assault. Whenever Trigon Prime attacks, put a 1/1 counter in it and a 1/1 counter on up to one other target attacking creature. That creature can't be blocked this turn. This card is really funny.
So Trigon Prime, when it attacks, it has to dig. So it digs a tunnel and it puts another guy inside the tunnel.
Yeah. I gotta go. See you guys.
All right.
Bye.
We are almost done
Bye.
with Tyranids, so good on you. So we'll talk to you later.
And then we will move on to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Return of the Quang.
Do you think it'll be funny if I leave the Darktide soundtrack in the background for Lord of the Rings, or should I find it? I think that's movie music. I don't think I can actually play the New Line Cinema tracks.
Yeah. I think that's safe because only because I think the copyright will come for you.
Yeah, we'll leave it on Darktide just for the funnies, but the Trigon Prime is also very funny. I like the different ideas of them, putting different guys. Let's talk about this. You showed this off, and we talked about him a little bit last time, but the Toxicrene, this Cthulhu-ass motherfucker.
Toxicrene. I love this card.
Who is currently eating a Predator tank, I think. Or maybe a Razorback? Yeah, it's a double cannon. That's a
It's a
Razorback.
Razorback.
What do you mean he's playing with his toys?
He's playing with his minis, yeah.
No, he's
Yeah,
opening his sardine can.
Sorry, it's just the funniest thought in the universe. A Tyranid-like creature playing Ultramarines. Oh, dude, I buy Ultramarines. Why do you think we invaded Ultramar? The Wilds of Ultramar. Why did we go to McCrag?
The minis was too expensive. I had to get my own.
Anyway, yes.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So yeah, we talked about this guy a little bit last time. Yeah, Reach Death Touch, toxic as hell.
Touch, hyper-toxic miasma. All lands have tap, add 1 mana of any color, and lose all other abilities.
Oh,
I love this card so much.
That
It's so
is-
good. It's so good.
Yeah, there are some lands that are special and do
Yeah,
have ability.
and
but just-
commander players are bitches when it comes to blowing up lands.
yeah.
Even though lands can be obscenely powerful. So to me, this is the ultimate. I get to fuck off your fuck off land that like makes a billion zombie tokens, doesn't get to do its thing anymore, and you can't
Yes.
tell me I'm preventing you from playing the game.
The
So
only,
fuck you.
Go ahead, Love.
the only
Go ahead.
downside I can see to this, technically, if you're using it against your opponent, is if they're mana screwed on one specific kind of color in their deck. But that's an edge case.
That's also, to be fair, I feel like if you're playing Commander, you don't want any of your opponents to be mana screwed, because that's the lamest reason to win ever.
Yeah, just to
Dallas-
force your opponent to fold.
Someone who has played Commander, I have had that luck. Okay.
Oh no, I agree with you, but I've had that luck in Commander too. But I'm just saying, I don't think anyone wants like in a tournament game. You better believe I want you to be mana screwed. I want you to be miserable. But like in a Commander game, which is all about friendness,
You're
generally-
usually part of a pod, part of a group. No,
yeah.
and I do believe we did talk about this at the end of, I think, last week's stream or
want you to
something, because
lose
you
to
showed
my
this off
cool
as a
shit.
preview. But this, I think, is because we talk about like things that are fair, right? There are Yu-Gi-Oh cards that feel fair. There's actually a discussion going on because they posted the Genesis Point updates early. There's a new world premiere card in Chaos Origins called Thunder Crash Scarecrow. Just to say what he does, he just says that if your opponent summons, actually, if anybody summons a non-thunder monster, it can't attack this turn, and in the end phase, it's destroyed. It's like 10 points in Genesis, which is probably too high, because it's like a weird-ass floodgate. It also can blow up one of your own cards to summon itself back in the end phase, I think.
Yeah.
But, like, he's a weird, like, control guy, and, like, it's probably technically a floodgate, but it also probably doesn't move the competitive needle enough to have a point cost. The Toxicrene, I think,
Okay.
is a similar sort of, like, fair effect, where, like,
I have a question, Omega.
you keep all your mana value total, you're still on the mana curve, but your bullshit? Fuck your bullshit. Stop that. You're going to play
How
vanilla
many
lands,
points
and you're going to like it.
is? How many points is Electric Virus?
Electric Virus? Electric Virus is probably 0 points.
Yeah,
So
then
just-
that's just.
So can I just make a quick reference to just add on to what I was saying earlier?
Yeah.
Sure.
because I just saw the comment about Mana Screwed. Oh, Mana Screwed. We talk about off-camera and on-camera loss. That has been following me for years, because even with my friend group in university where I played Magic the Gathering and got into it, they said, hey, this card isn't legal in Commander, but you could still use it, and just gave me a copy of Mana Screw, the unhinged card, because they just went, you need this.
How funny.
But yeah, like this is a guy that I think in Magic the Gathering is like, Dallas, you've said it before, and I think we've expressed similar opinions. Card game players in general can be really big babies around like simple control type like limiter effects. This is not a floodgate, you know? Like, this doesn't limit your overall mana. You're still, as I said earlier, on the mana curve, because all of your lands have the ability to tap and add 1 mana. It's just that if they did something else, yeah, they technically become rainbow lands. That could be technically a benefit. And they don't change their name, so they're all still, like, if you have an ability that's like, does X, where X is the number of islands you control or something, you can still do that.
There are some obscene lands now, like... And like I said, Commander players are just real.
Well, and we've talked about this, right? Like, blanking your opponent's lands or forcing them to change is a really rude effect. Is it the Blood Moon that turns all your opponent's lands into mountains?
Okay, well, that one, yes. But, like, I think blanking your opponent's land drops should, if they play a heinous land, should be fine.
Well, no, that's what I mean, though. Like, it's
Blood
like
Moon is
changing all of your opponent's lands into a basic land type, which is, like...
Yeah.
Possibly not the correct mana color for their deck, and also has a different name, and like all that shit is like.
Yeah, and
that's a very strong.
Blood Moon is also mana.
Yeah, just being a like, at least this one doesn't outright remove that. It's still like, like, hold on. So remember, Tyranids are green, red, blue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you wanted to add some extra nonsense depending on what you're fighting. If you're fighting fucking someone with islands, what's that one specific ability some blue cards have, which is can attack directly?
Island Walk.
Yeah, Island Walk. That's fucking stupid.
Well, this doesn't change them into islands. It changes what they produce.
This is Thunder Crash Sneercrow. I mentioned him earlier. I'm gonna pull him up while I grab the last card. But that's just this is the guy we're talking about, which is like, you read this and you go, I don't know why this is 10 points in Genesis. Because it is a floodgate effect that is pretty, like, normal. It's just while he's phased up in the monster zone, that monster can't attack, and then it's destroyed in the end phase if they're non-thunder. It's like the world's slowest floodgate.
No, it's because they heard people weren't playing Thunder Kings anymore. Oh, yeah, Thunder Kings anymore, or Thunder Dragons.
Honestly, I'll be real, Zed. I get mana flooded so much more than I get mana screwed.
Yeah,
well, also, Loth, you say that. Actually, no, this is a card that's meant to support a brand new archetype in Chaos Origin, which I don't know if they're complete. We could talk about Blitzkrieg. But there's a new Thunder deck out there that's like all about Speedball summoning themselves.
Okay.
So they can utilize this new guy. But let's grab the first Tyrannic Lore and wrap it up.
I know exactly which, because oh my god, I think this is appropriate. We can do the main set of Lord of the Rings another time. We'll do the Lord of the Rings Commander set, because those are two different things.
Okay, that's fair. We can do that, yeah.
Because the main set of Lord of the Rings is long.
You mean like the One Ring?
I figured.
Yes. But we can't talk about this man.
We'll schedule the full set, then a separate one, and we'll keep on the Commander ones.
Yep.
But here, first of all, here's our final look at the current run of the 40k MTG set. The first Tyrannic War. It's the Saga, and this is indeed the first Tyrannic War. That is the Behemoth Swarmlord. Forgot his name for a second. Because that guy, it's hard to tell, but that guy's, it's because it's a hologram, but that guy's like.
Yeah, this is the one that. Because the first Tyrannic War, I believe, is the one where Marnius Calgar got his arms chopped off.
I mean, I think that is Marnius Calgar in his Terminator armor shooting the Swarmlord in the back. It's hard to tell because it's from a distance, but I think that is what's happening. Also, this looks like somebody, like, took an image that was the cover of a codex and, like, pasted it on top of a holo projector.
I
Like,
think
there
it
are-
is a drawing because it does have an artist.
Yeah. No, well, I'm sure an artist drew the extra assets. It's just like I said, it looks, if it's purely original art, the artist did a great job of replicating the style. Because like I said, there are so many Warhammer 40k books that are just Space Marines, especially Ultramarines, fighting something. But let's see. Okay, so this is a 1, 2, 3, but the 2 and 3 do the same thing. So you get to do that twice. Number 1, you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield if its mana cost contains an X, and it enters the battlefield with a number of +1/+1 counters equal to the number of lands you control. Okay, that's pretty nasty. All right, okay.
Which is at least 5 if you're
Yeah,
summoning,
because
playing the Saga.
you have to play this. You can't play this that much quicker than 5, depending on your mana fixing. You know, you gotta have at least 5 going on. So that's pretty strong. It doesn't change the X, so you don't get the extra draw on Ravenous. Because I believe it doesn't actually proc the X. It just gets the counters.
We'll talk about it afterwards, but this,
okay.
We'll talk about it.
All right, but then 2 and 3 are both. So you activate, you add the Saga counter twice.
Yeah.
Double the number of each kind of counter on a target creature you control. So every counter a creature has, double it.
Granted, a lot of counters do not benefit from being doubled, but still.
Oh yeah, like what was it? The poison counters or something? It's like, I killed my own guy.
Well,
Fuck.
It's not just that. It's like flying counters.
Oh,
I'm
you're playing this
flying
with
twice.
Here's all my time counters or whatever it was. Yeah, sorry.
Like, I'll say this: if I wasn't doing the thing where I brought the Saga for each one up, I would not have brought this card up because this card is bad.
I think you did say last time that this is like, I don't remember if you said bad last week, but you said this was like the least interesting one. But since we're doing them, we're doing them.
Oh no.
I
So
mean, if this works out, you can get like a fucking 20 counters, but that's a long-term kind of
I
thing.
would, yeah, but it's also only on one target thing, and there's just more efficient things to
Yeah,
make.
that's yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I get the idea, and obviously, again, I get that the kind of like
But the first
the
one
ethos-
is the real bad part, because most creatures with X in their casting cost benefit from that number being bigger with certain effects, and this nullifies that.
yeah.
Yes.
Honestly, like, I get why they picked it, because one, it has Space Marines and it does support the Swarmlord. They probably should have had a different saga, which was the Day of Upheaval, or the Gene Cities are a couple different names for like their big day out. But like, because this saga's really weird, because on the one hand, it's all about them 1/1 counters, but also it specifically does the X creatures again. So like, it kind of splits between the two commanders. That's not necessarily
You wanna know
good
what-
though, because I don't.
You know what I think? I think the
Go ahead.
last ability should have been on this. Because I can't really... Because I want to keep the first Tyrannic War, because I think that's a really interesting one.
No, that's
But
a good pick.
something that, to me, encapsulates the vibe, and just having this be the last ability, is each creature you control fights target creature an opponent controls.
Just have a big old clusterfuck. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, and what fight means is they each deal damage to each other.
Yeah,
And
It's
since
tyrannies
you're
with,
about making
or
big
creatures
fuck
with
off
death touch, maybe.
guys in...
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, and
you're
also
about making
remember,
big fuck off guys.
our big boy, the Swarmlord, was when a creature you control fucking bites it, you draw a card.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
no,
think
I think
it's
Dallas has
really
the right-
weird
that
to
is the
me
better-
that a event where a lot of Space Marines fucking died is a completely non-violent saga.
Yeah, it's like, it would be better for this to be like, I know that is the the first Tyrannic War is when they invaded
like,
McCrag, but like,
I know
this
I'm
is
a
more
little
like
too
the Hive
removal
Fleet
filled.
arrives, right?
Yeah. This is more like the Discover. Like, hey, what is this beacon doing? What is this beacon? Oh fuck! Why are there bugs?
honestly, again, you could have also done that as the day, because, like, we didn't talk about it earlier, and we don't need to get too into the lore, but, like, Gene Stealers are Tyranids. They are a separate subfaction, though, because they are genetic hybrids. But the point of a Gene Stealer cult is that they basically pacify an entire populace, and when they get a big enough brood mind, their patriarch, the Gene Stealer that is the oldest and the genetic progenitor of them, like, attracts the Tyranid hive mind to their planet, and so they, for free, just get to roll out and slurp up all the soup. It doesn't... I would be remiss, now that Axe is gone, not to mention that it doesn't always happen that way. There is lore about Gene Stealer cults who, like, don't want to get eaten by the Tyranids, so they just get on ships and leave before the Tyranids eat everybody, so they can go, you know, do their thing elsewhere. Like, this feels like that effect, right? Like, you're fighting a cult uprising, and then all of a sudden there's a fucking Tyranid hive fleet here, and you're just like, what? Yeah. Why are there a million bug guys now?
I don't know.
And they're friends with the cultists.
I think the other 3 sagas were pretty well designed, like power level regardless. So 3 out of 4 ain't bad.
Well, and you never know in the design process when it happens. Like, I would expect they probably, like, thought of, like, the Horus Heresy as a saga first.
It should be obvious, but the next 2 I'm going to post, you have to post together. Because...
Well, let's transition to Lord of the Rings. With our first guy. And yes, I see what you posted. You haven't even posted the second one yet, and I immediately see what you mean. But let's talk about the Lord of the Rings Commander set.
Yeah,
we're going to talk first about Bilbo. Bilbo birthday celebrant. I believe, Loth, you said this out loud, but we're like, great colors. I agree.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Bilbo at the start of Lord of the Rings, his 111st birthday, white, black, green.
111st birthday.
I like less than half of you, half as well as you deserve, and half as well of you I like, half as well. Something. I forget the quote. It's great, though, because nobody in the audience fucking gets it. God, sorry. Chat, I don't know when it'll be, but we're going to do movie night on Lord of the Rings, and we're going to probably watch the extended editions. The opening for Lord of the Rings is fucking, for Fellowship, is fucking rad.
Believe it's, I know half of you, half as well as you deserve, and I like half of you, half as, I fucked it up too.
I like half of you, half as well as you would like. He's basically
saying, I wish I knew more of you, because the people I do know I fucking hate.
And I like half of you, half as well as you deserve, I think, or something. Like, it's...
Something like that.
Something like that, you know.
He's basically saying, fuck you.
Yeah. Which is fair, because what is it? Is it the...
Sackville Baggins.
Sackville Baggins is right. The Sackville Baggins is. It's so funny. They're just like the Hobbit equivalent of the HOA. But like, you read the opening chapters of Fellowship and even some of the later stuff, the Sackville Baggages just suck. I think in the Hobbit they tried to steal Bilbo. They're like, Bilbo returns from his adventure in the middle of them fucking hawking his shit because they think he died, and he's just
it's
like,
so funny that like. It's so funny to me that it's written in like 1910. Or 1930 or whenever it was, because it has such suburban white people energy. The Hobbits have such suburban white people energy.
Well, they're not literally WASP, because if you don't know, Tolkien was Catholic, guys.
Yes, no.
In case you can't
get that from the Lord of the Rings. Because that would
so they're not actually waspy, but it's a similar aesthetic, because they are very rurally English, which is where a lot of early like Americana comes from.
They're like upper class rural.
Well, some of them are upper class, yes. Frodo, if you don't know about class consciousness in Lord of the Rings, Bilbo and Frodo are rich. Sam and so are Merry and Pippin, I believe, technically. Sam is working class.
Sam is I would say Sam is middle class.
I think he's supposed to be working.
His father is a very prestigious farmer.
I guess. The relationship between Frodo and Sam is supposed to be similar to because Tolkien drew a lot from his experience in the First World War. It's supposed to be similar to the relationship between a young officer and his batsman, his dog's body, his go-to guy.
I think it's that the Gamgee is not like an important family name.
Also, thank you, Ark grabbed the quote. I don't know half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. So like, there's room to interpret that Bilbo is saying that they deserve to be liked better, but he doesn't like them. Fuck you.
Yeah, and then he just disappears.
And he vanishes. And Gandalf is like, Bilbos, you shouldn't have did that.
Yes, Bilbo.
Anyway, so Bilbo is a halfling rogue, correct? Literally, the entire archetype of halfling rogues is drawn from The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
Yes. If you would,
and I do want to say specifically The Hobbit. Actually, like, if you want to get into it, like, a lot of people make jokes about trying to D&Dify Lord of the Rings. Which, first of all, 9 party members, too many. The balance is fucked. The game master had to fix that problem. But the hobbits are probably, like, technically, you know, like, non-heroic, like, commoner or noble NPCs who, like, later become fighters.
Feel like hobbits to me.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, hobbits are more like gnomes than they are like halflings.
Yeah. Yeah, what were you gonna say, Loth?
Oh shit! No, they are DMPCs that become player characters when everyone splits up.
Yeah, like technically, I think for like you can make an argument maybe that Sam's like actually a ranger. He's good with Bill the Pony. He's good at making food and surviving in the wilderness. But like the hobbits are not normal D&D adventurers until like way later in their plot arcs. Like once Merry and Pippin get smashed on Entwine and grow an extra foot, then they're like like I said, they're like real ass fighters, which is very funny because obviously a lot of D&D is Tolkien-esque fantasy inspired, on top of a few other things. But yeah, Bilbo is the halfling rogue. He is hired as a burglar. So if you would gain life, you gain that amount +1 instead. So he's extra life gain, and then specifically for basically his cost +2, you can tap him, exile Bilbo, search your library for any number of creature cards, and put them into the battlefield. Then shuffle. Activate only if you have 111 or more life.
Yes. And spoiler, that ability does essentially read win the game.
That's what I assumed the idea is. The idea is you play a Bilbo life gain deck, and if you get to 111...
Well, yeah. There's a lot of creatures that like drain life and gain life upon creatures entering that you want to play in the deck. Like, the joke of this deck is actually called Bilbo's Wonderful Harem.
Because he just summons a bunch of vampires and demon ladies who slurp out all your life?
No, mostly priestesses, because there's this archetype of cards called Soul Sisters, which is made famous because it's a modern deck. Let me see, Soul Warden, Essence Warden, there's a couple others that do the same thing, but they're all 1-mana 1/1s that read, when a creature enters the battlefield, gain 1 life. So you put all of these types of effects, and then obviously there's the black versions of them, which are usually like 2 or 3 mana, but it's whenever a creature enters, all your opponents lose 1, you gain 1. So you just put all these like sisters, and there are also vampires there usually. Yes.
Yeah. You put a lot of cards that would drain life from your opponent or gain you life when you put creatures, so you build up life, and then you just pick up your deck, grab every creature that's not yet summoned, not yet cast,
and then
if
this was in a video game, a notification would pop up going, 500 triggers have entered the stack.
Yeah.
And then you
get a
go,
little exclamation point.
You lose.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what happens.
It catches up and it kills you.
Yeah. No, I've never seen the Bilbo birthday special ability resolve and the game not immediately end.
I mean, you've already probably won the game if you reach 111 life. It's just a matter of like, actually killing your opponents.
So you can always die from commander damage if you take 21
That's true, I guess. That's true, I guess. But like, normally having 111 life, there's no reasonable way they could chip it.
So life gain can't do that.
That's it. I mean, that's a good balancing matter to think about that. So you can run a life gain commander, but not have to worry about the game never ending. But okay, let's talk about another one. And obviously, this is something some of you may recognize from the internet because I remember this was a controversy in 2023. It feels so far away now, though.
It wasn't that much of a controversy in the actual Magic community, which I am proud of.
Probably not, no. This seems like a tourist thing. This seems like a thing that internet grifters can put in a YouTube thumbnail to get clicks, but, like, Magic probably doesn't care about because they've, again, we talked about this with card games. They've always felt decently inclusive, and, like, it's a classic argument, and it's an argument that people I like less have made shittier. Joanne was like, Hermione can be black. I never said she's white, except that's definitely not exactly how she's described in the books.
It also makes it, I've said
also,
this before.
yes, it makes it way more racist than you meant it, Joanne.
If you want to make a character in Harry Potter black and make it unproblematic, the best option is ironically Harry Potter. Because if you make the Weasleys black, that's really problematic.
Well, also, it doesn't work because they are frequently described as like, gingered and freckled.
Even like, besides that, making the obscene poor family with a bunch of
yes, also they're poor with a lot of kids. Like, that would be a racist stereotype.
Best,
Hermione is literally the target of the substitute of racism.
Snape black is horrifying.
That makes him Uncle Ruckus, yes.
It's not that. It's the character that everyone is immediately suspicious of without actually having met him that is the only black character.
Also, by the way, Dallas, did your mic output change again? You're, like, getting...
Oh, did it? Oh,
you're getting, like you're sounding a little farther away and more garbled.
It's noticing I'm getting more invested, so that's why it's just...
No, it's dampening him down.
It's one of those things where it's like, you make the character who everyone is immediately suspicious of the only black character in the... It makes it so bad.
It's like, weird. It's weird that, like, they've tried to do that. But, like, I do actually think...
it changes nothing about Aragorn. Especially because he's, like... Especially movie Aragorn, it changes nothing. Because, like, movie Aragorn is the perfect, most specialist boy.
I mean, Aragorn in the text is supposed to be a once and future king, because that's what our boy Tolkien's rocking.
And like I said, this is my only quibble with the movies as opposed to the books. Because generally, I think it's an amazing adaptation. The one thing I don't like as much is they made Aragorn too perfect of a... They rounded off all of his...
flaws?
Problems, yeah. Like, the fight he has with Éowyn they took out, which is one of my favorite parts of the book, when he's like, Éowyn, you need to stay back and be a woman. And she's like, fuck you.
I mean, he has a scene like that in the movie, but it's not really a
but
fight.
They made
it's just
much less.
Yes. It's just he brings up like, hey, lady, maybe you shouldn't go out, and she's just like,
she calls him out and goes, "You are not yet my king. I will not listen to you."
Yeah, no, it's a thing, but like, he. Yeah. That's just the thing of like.
It's less they did Aragorn badly. It's more they did Éowyn badly. Is what I hate.
I do think, some of her extra character scenes were smoothed out, and some of them I think are put back in the extended cuts, but she still gets to do the, I whip off her mask and say, "I am no man," and shank the Witch King, which is a pretty good.
But she doesn't get all of her. She has like 5 great speeches in the book, and I get why they had to cut all those, because if you don't cut speeches from your movies or TV shows, you just become Doctor Who. But like,
I think some of them end up back in the extended cuts, but it's you gotta work on your dialogue.
Sorry,
the films
I
are
grew up
great.
listening to the Lord of the Rings book on tape.
No, so very solid. I own all of them. I was one of the few
people that went into those movies. I should say, one of the few people my age who went into those movies having listened to them.
Oh, did I read all of them? I think I did, because I'm pretty sure when the first one came out, I'm slightly carrying a torch. I didn't get to see the first one in theaters. My parents were worried it would be too scary and violent. Which was a little like, that was a little not as much. But the later ones we didn't have a problem with, and funnily enough, that wrapped around to because they were holiday films. I think I saw all the Hobbit movies in theaters around my birthday because that's just what we do. That was not as much worth the time. But I'm pretty sure once the first one came out, that's when we got the paperbacks, and they went around the house. I literally have them on my shelf right now, and we definitely own the cassette tapes. But yes, they're not pitch-perfect adaptations, but they're pretty strong. In general, I don't think there's a lot that would change about, especially like you said, about movie Aragorn. There's some extent of the backstory stuff because, like, it is a thing I would say is, like, you don't need to go race swapping anybody because, like, yes, Tolkien is designing a mythology of, like, the British Isles, which is why, like, people who are not, like, you know, British European are, like, from elsewhere. But it is also, like, it doesn't actually matter in the text because it doesn't matter in the text. Tolkien wasn't grappling with that problem. He had other shit to think about, which was Tolkien never. We talked about him being Catholic. Tolkien never mentally solved the problem of if all orcs are evil or not, and what the fuck that means.
Tolkien is I'll say this. Tolkien is a very interesting person psychologically, and I do say that in a positive. He has some ridiculously progressive political views for his time. And I do mean ridiculous. Like, you can argue he's a borderline anarchist in the political sense, not the like.
In the certainly in the classical political sense, not that freaky for the 1920s and 30s. You know, there was a lot of that going around after the first one. But then there's also the. Oh, so yeah, Aaron does bring up, in the books he's not really reluctant to be king. That was introduced in the movies as a subplot thing to kind of like give him more of an arc. Because like he is pretty locked in to go because he has less of an arc in the film or in the books. But I do think that like they do change around the scenes less, so there is like less of a vibe to him in some. Because, you know, they're compressing for time. But anyway, no, like, Tolkien has stuff going on where, like, a lot of people probably assume that Tolkienian fantasy is going to be, like, Chudley because he is pro-pastoralism. But no, he's pastoral in the actual sense of, like, hey, the countryside can be cool when we're not fucking up everything with, like, all this industrialization and war. Psychologically,
Tolkien,
you never recover from the trenches.
Yeah, Tolkien is a fascinating man, and I love him. He's one of the few authors that I like unabashedly. I'm like, no, I like this guy, and I don't have to do any caveats for that.
No, we don't have to qualify it at all.
Sorry, H.P. Lovecraft.
That's okay, H.P. Lovecraft. I can just be like,
what?
H.P.
Remember that?
You really needed therapy.
You needed therapy. You needed so much therapy. Like,
we really needed you not to snuff it at age like 32 and like put you in front of a couch, man. Because like you, first of all, I don't think humans. H.P. Lovecraft. Humans don't go crazy if they see a new color.
I don't say this unironically. I think he literally puts the phobic. Like, a lot of people are like, why is it called phobic? Like, xenophobic. You're not scared of other. I think it is because it so much is.
No, like, that's the actual thing. To not to rehash an old one, but I have disliked how the Cthulhu mythos and Eldritch horror is, like, really popular for, like, video games and tabletop games and stuff, but people always like to, like, put a big warning of, like, hey, H.P. Lovecraft said the N-word, and he was really racist, and that's why we're cool because we don't do that.
That's not why he was really like. He was born in the 50s. That was not.
Yeah, like that's not that crazy.
No,
you know, being
all of the other stuff he said that it was like.
There's a lot of other weird stuff going on with him.
People saw what he was saying. And were like, all right, dude, you're doing. Even the racists were like, okay, dude, you're doing much.
But what I wanted to say is that like he also was just a poster child for anxiety. The man was like anxious about. He's like the German government. He was anxious about air conditioning, you know, and like.
Yeah.
Like he was one of those people who was not good with math, so like people started showing him shit like you know, Einstein's theory of relativity and like quantum uncertainty, and he was just like, the universe is crazy, everything out there is insane, you know, we live in a vast uncaring universe, which is probably true, but like it's yeah, anyway,
I'm gonna have to bring up this fucking chart. I forgot.
Aragorn, King of Gondor. He's
Aragorn,
the backup
King of
commander,
Gondor.
right? Yeah, so he's
Yes, he is the backup commander, but he is no slouch. We'll get to
but
it,
also he's doing a completely different rigmarole here because he is blue, red, white.
Vigilance. Well, no, this is a different deck.
Oh, he is. So it's a different deck,
Sorry,
but he is the backup commander.
This is the humans deck. There are 4 decks, I should say.
Okay.
I probably should have started with this. There's humans, elves, and also angels, but
We don't talk about those.
hobbits,
yeah.
and forces of Mordor. He is the backup commander of the humans deck, or is he the face commander?
He might be
he's
the
backup.
face.
He's the backup.
Who's the
backup.
face?
I made
Eowyn.
Bogomir? Oh, okay,
No, Eowyn.
cool.
I made the joke in our FP chat, but no, like, sorry, because we talked about like him being black. I'm like, it doesn't really matter.
I mean, he's wearing white, so it is the reverse of the MBT white joke.
Yeah.
But like you said, no
he is-
slouch. Got some different colors.
I really like the art of the Crown of Gondor too. I like how unique they took it instead of just doing the generic crown. That's my only art motif for that.
Well, and he's wearing, you know, the white tree. Like they did their research.
Yeah.
Let's see. So human noble vigilance.
So I have to discuss the monarch, because when Aragorn, King of Gondor, enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. So what the monarch is it's from an old set called Conspiracy, I believe, where you become the monarch. You at the end of your turn, if you're the monarch, you draw a card. If anyone attacks you and deals damage to you while you're the monarch, they become the monarch. So I actually really like the monarch.
Just wizards putting another game inside their game.
Well, it's more because it's like, okay, we're tired of these people just turtling around and playing solitaire at each other. Let's enforce aggression, because if there's any incentive at all to make Magic players do anything you want, it is the perspective of drawing a card.
Yes.
You can make them do whatever you want.
We love drawing cards.
Yeah. So, and then whenever Aragorn attacks, up to 1 target creature can't block this turn. If you're the monarch, creatures can't block this turn. So this card is... No, Monarch is from Conspiracy. It was a draft-only set. It's
like I said, it sounds like a mechanic they introduce as an idea, and then they put it in their pocket and bring it back later.
Wait, let me make sure I'm right and not wrong, because...
I mean, that is also possible. Maybe they put it in a team commander idea first and then put it in, like, a draft set. But that totally sounds like Wizards is, like I said, they made another game inside their game, and then they were like, hey, you know that thing we invented? We can reuse this.
Yeah, it's called Conspiracy Take the Crown.
What year is that from?
2016.
Okay.
Yeah. Heavy is the head that wears God magic. The
2010s were an interesting time for marketing.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Heavy with awesome power and lavish tribute, that is.
Magic, I need you to
Wizards never change. You fucking corny ass motherfuckers. That's the sword that comes with the monarch. It might have been. So this commander, Aragorn, is extraordinarily powerful, to the point of this is one of the few commander decks I've built and had to disassemble because it was too strong.
2
for my
stonks.
play group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just make a board of
I
guys,
think I did hear that,
become the monarch, and kill the entire table.
Yeah, because you can't block.
And they couldn't block. So all my guys would have like double strike lifelink, and even if I didn't kill everyone, I'd be like, well, I'm now at 94 life, and you're the only one left to oppose me, and all of my guys are bigger. Because, spoiler, humans are a very strong creature type. Because there's a lot of them.
No, definitely. And I do believe that, like, between these 3 colors, you could find a lot of good humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, we saw some,
It's only missing.
tiered
It's only
humans,
missing one of the main human colors, which is black. But white is the human color. So
yeah.
it goes probably like white, red, black, green, blue. Blue is the least. There's humans in every color. Like, not even kidding.
Oh, probably. Like, it's probably one of the most common creature types because it's just really easy
I
to do,
believe
but
it
yeah.
is the. I believe it is this most common or second most common. I can't remember.
But it's a pretty strong one. But let's
I'm
talk
gonna
about the
post
boys.
something for this. I have to post something for this because
Your
I'm not remembering this off the top of my head. We'll talk about tempting the ring.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
That's right. I remember
All
this.
right.
This is a whole like rule thing.
this is a whole ass mechanic.
I did hear about that.
So this is Frodo, Adventurous Hobbit, and Sam, Loyal Attendant. These are partners, so either you can use them both as one commander and run a 98 card deck with them as commander, which is these are the face commander of the deck, I should say. Bilbo is the backup commander, but he's funny, so I like him. So I put him first.
It's great. It's great.
Whenever, so they are both halflings, halfling peasant and halfling scout. Frodo is a 2/2 Orzhov, so white and black, which makes perfect sense for Frodo's entire story. When Frodo, Adventurous Hobbit, attacks, if you've gained 3 or more life, we'll get back to that, the ring tempts you. Then if Frodo is your ring bearer, I'll get to that in a second, and
Yeah.
the ring has tempted you 2 or more times, I'll get to that in a second, this game, draw a card. So tempting the ring is introduced in this set. I know it's shocking. When you are tempted by the ring, you make a creature your ring bearer. For the first time, your ring bearer is legendary and cannot be blocked by creatures with greater power. So they gain an ability called Skulk, essentially, which is if they have a greater power than you, they cannot block that creature. And then, if you've tempted twice, whenever your ring bearer attacks, you draw a card and then discard, so you would loot. Because that's what that effect is called. And then the third tempting, when you've tempted 3 times, whenever your ring bearer becomes blocked by a creature, that creature's controller sacrifices it at the end of combat. That really doesn't come up a lot, honestly, because usually if you're blocking with a creature, it might come up. Because it gets around to indestructible too, actually. So if they try and block with something indestructible, they still have to sacrifice it because that don't care. And then finally, it's whenever your ring bearer deals combat damage to a player, each opponent loses 3 life. And that's if you've tempted 4 times, which is the maximum. So he's all about temptation and tempting the ring. But then we have Sam, Loyal Attendant. At the beginning of your turn, create a food token. This is an artifact with 2 mana. Tap, sacrifice this artifact, you gain 3 life. So, which will trigger Frodo. And then activated ability of food you control costs 1 less to activate. This normally means that tap sacrifice ability. However, there are creatures who are food and have activated abilities that do other things. They're not from this deck, but you can put them in there. You can give him a sentient gingerbread cookie to kill people.
And, talking about the precons, normally these are each 2-color commanders, but if you partner them together, you create one 3-color.
Abzan, I believe, is the white, black, green.
White, black, yeah.
Yeah. But no, yeah, these two are cool. They work well together. I personally like Bilbo a little more just because I love the fact that he triggers on 111 life. They just never. I love the flavor of some of these cards. But I would probably the best deck out of the box of them. Just because it's very synergistic and very easy to upgrade.
Yeah.
Food has become like a real boy type, especially lately. Like to me, this when these came out, I believe this was like the first major push to like making food a real boy archetype. Because then afterwards came Wilds of Eldraine with the sentient cookies.
Here's the little funny future proofing.
But no, he's good. Like I said, I think this Hobbit deck is the most complete out of the box because it has two good commanders. Well, it actually has another backup commander. We can bring them up later. Because it's spoiler. There's a partner duo for Merry and Pippin as well.
That makes sense.
I'll put them in the chat, but
well, let's move on to the Forces of Mordor. Sorry, I just actually saw this card blown up. This is a very interesting interpretation of Sauron.
Yeah,
looking much more like a Dark Souls boss, because he's got a. So actually, this is another thing that I don't think it actually matters for the sake of the story, but technically, the being a giant flaming eye is like. Not literal in the novels. It's very ambiguous what actually is going on with Sauron when he lost the ring. Just know that he's not like he's no longer an 8 foot tall armored guy. Yeah, he's probably not a literal eyeball. Yeah. But for the movies, it makes a good visual motif and like aesthetic signifier of like the eyeball is Sauron's attention inside his evil ass fortress.
I actually want to break. Oh my god. Mm-hmm. I want to break the rules a little bit, because I want to show a card that is not technically from the Lord of the Rings main set, so I'm not actually breaking the rules, because it was from the Lord of the Rings beginner entry box, because there's another art for this that is that is in the same style that's so much better and shows what's happening so much better.
Okay, hit me with the art.
I want to show you.
Before we see the comparison, to talk about this art, this looks like they took the possible description and the true description in some of the backstory stuff, like in some of the appendices and Silmarillion. Sauron has been a giant armored boy before, but they basically combined it with the depiction of him as a flaming eyeball on a tower, so now he's a giant armored guy who is wearing a flaming eyeball tower on his head, which is an interesting interpretation. I will scroll. And Sauron Lidless Eye. So
yes, this is from the starter decks.
So a similar guy, but looking a little simpler, a much smaller creature. Which I guess makes sense, because Sauron Lord of the Rings here is clearly him at his apex when he has the One Ring on.
Yes, this is definitely post Isildur. If you will, you can see the fingers.
Yeah, he's got.
Yeah, you can see
the fingers are cut.
The lidless eye is the metaphor for Sauron as like what he's doing now that he's disembodied and dispowered. They're both Avatar horrors, but yeah.
I kind of like this interpretation more than the movie, because it's like he's like in his tower, just part vapor essentially. Like
well, and also I love the idea the film doesn't go into it. They do have like the eyeball appear in the Palantir as a metaphor, but like the idea that like Sauron is a Palantir, one of the ancient seeing stones, just he's plugged into it all the time, which is also kind of like the how he is the lidless eye observing everywhere. It's pretty cool. I think the second one, obviously it's also got some other cool elements, but it looks a little better. The Lord of the Rings version
just makes the head part more clear, because I feel like the head
I didn't
part
even
looks
realize
pretty
at
goofy
first
on Lord of the Rings.
that before I pulled it up and looked at it fully, I didn't even realize he was looking to the side. I thought, did they give him armor shaped like a horse head?
No. That is
Omega, thank you so much, because I had to make a quick edit.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's a real bad art. It's really bad art. So I was like, I had to.
Here's
I
lots of
had to-
embedded
Look
taunts.
to the
No,
right.
like it is. He looks like a weird Dark Souls boss, and I'm not gonna say that like you couldn't write a like Dark Times, era Lord of the Rings game that was just a Souls-like.
There are three arts of Sauron, in his post like armor I'm king of all evil phase. The Lord of the Ring, the one for the commander deck, is by far the weakest. Because I believe there's also an art of him like when he was just the necromancer.
Yeah. When he was pretending to be a god, which also again is another reason to say that like the eyeball is probably, even in the films, the eyeball is probably not literal. It's just the most literal appearance because he is a weird guy. I will say the Hobbit movies are not great. They are clearly way too fucking long and
Okay.
too reliant
I
on
hope
CG.
you're gonna say what I think you're gonna say.
The scene with the necromancer in the movies where he's like a shadow, but the shadow becomes the pupil of the eye and it like flickers
The scene
back
with
and forth.
Galadriel bitch slapping Sauron is the best scene
but
in
like
those three
he
movies.
shows up, he projects his aura, but then Galadriel and the gang show up to beat his ass. Like no, like that was a good addition.
Well, no,
That was a good.
Oh my god! You are overselling everyone else's input. The three of them fight off the Nazgul. Then Sauron appears, and Saruman and Isildur stand. Not Isildur.
Gandalf probably.
No,
was a rad-ass.
Gandalf is it's the King of Elves, Isildur's buddy.
Oh, Elrond was there. That's right. That was a weird one.
Elrond, yeah. So Saruman and Elrond are just crapping their pants because Sauron shows up, and then Galadriel fucking ring girl levitates out of the ground.
Well, okay,
And
so
verbally
there's a reason why that works very well as a scene. There's two important factors. Number one, of course, Elrond is scared because he has PTSD. But also,
That's
I want to
true.
remind everybody, I'm pretty sure Galadriel is descended from the subtribe of
Oh, yeah,
elves
no, she's
of
like a god.
what's his face?
She's a demigod, I'm pretty sure.
Well, also she's like one of the direct. Is it Feanor?
Descendants of,
Feanor's elves.
Feanor.
Yeah, the elf who was so turbo mad about the Silmarils that he invaded Middle Earth and burned his boats behind him because he was like, no, boys, we are not going home. We're getting that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Of course she would show up to a Sauron scrap and be like, all right, boys, cracks knucks.
It's honestly my biggest problem with that whole Galadriel TV show. It's not that they made her, I don't care that they made her a badass. I care that they made her a warrior. Galadriel is this ephemeral witch lady who's, more powerful than anyone in the entire, world other than maybe Sauron.
She is one of the few users of a ring of power, and it, doesn't seem like it's really holding her back,
No,
she has a ring of power and she does power things.
But I'm mad that they made her a fighter instead of a caster. That's my biggest issue.
Unfortunately, Dallas, it was probably budgetary because they were like, we want a Game of Thrones killer. That show doesn't have that many wizards and has CGI dragons. We want less budget than that.
Game of Thrones, what you did to fantasy, I dislike. I think Game of Thrones is an amazingly written series. I hate how much influence it has had on the fantasy genre.
Well, luckily, I do kind of feel like some of the influences waned a little because they really did bobble that last season.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones cultural staying power has really, really shankled. But let's actually talk about Big Sauron here.
No, let me transition. Okay. Speaking of bobbling things, let's talk about Sauron.
That's a great segue.
Yes.
So he has 8 mana, 5 in Grixis. When you cast the spell, amass Orcs 5, which means you create a 5/5 Orc army. Mill 5 cards, then return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So pretty powerful effect. He's a 9/9 with trample, and whenever an opponent controls dies, the ring tempts you. Okay. So this guy's bad.
I mean, he's a fucking 8 mana 9/9 with just trample.
Yes,
Like,
and all he does is reborn one person.
and give you an extra orc guy who's like 5'5". That's
Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this the Hordes of Mordor deck is the weakest deck by far.
Yeah.
Because of two reasons. One, he's the face commander, and two, the deck is non-cohesive as hell. But
which seems like it should be better. Like, honestly, I would say that like it would be much easier to make a cohesive.
Well, we'll talk about the overpowered Sauron commander when we do the main set.
Okay.
Don't worry, Sauron's fine PR wise.
Yeah, he's
got
not
a commander
cooked.
that is arguably CDH playable, but
the precons did not do him justice.
No, the precon Sauron is
the precon Sauron went for the. I think it is the. Is it the Spike or the Timmy that's like, I want a big fucking guy?
This is Timmy.
Timmy is the big dude.
I want a big creature.
Which obviously, yes, you see this on the front of a precon and you go, hell yeah, Sauron 9/9, and then you play it and you're like, wait a minute, I'm spending 8 mana to get a guy.
You don't play it because the humans and halflings have already killed you. That's the problem.
Also true, actually, yeah. You don't get to 8 is the problem. But I mean, okay, it doesn't fit Sauron Lord of the Rings, but that does actually fit the narrative of the novels Lord of the Rings, which is they do actually manage to just barely get Sauron before he can get his shit together and overrun them all. Like,
it does,
but it's the deck should have a win con that's a little better. I do like Avatar Horror, by the way. I like that creature type combo for Sauron.
Fun fact, I believe all of the Maya are Avatar. I believe.
I mean, that works the best because like
all the Avatar are mine.
You joked about them being angels, and that is kind of their role in Lord of the Rings, but that's not like they do not resemble Christian angels that much. No. At least
they definitely don't resemble Christian angels.
Yeah,
because those are the, but they don't even resemble the.
We joke about them being angels because of Tolkien's Catholicism. They're much more like how in the Nordic sagas you have like different tribes of gods of different power levels. You've got Aesir, and then you've got the Vanir. What do the Vanir do? Odin split things with them like 50-50 or something. We don't care anymore. You know, like they're around. We'll only ever mention Frey and Freya, but that's it. What happens in Vanaheim? Don't worry about it.
Don't think about it.
But yes, I like the design for Sauron Ludus Eye a lot more. When he enters, gain control of a creature they control, untap it, and then it gains haste. Like he just influences them.
Sauron Ludus Eye is a card I tried to build a couple of times. Unfortunately, I found a deck that fits what I wanted to do with him better. Ironically, out of the Spider-Man set. It's Carnage.
Carnage. Oh my god.
Basically, it's a deck around. What I wanted to do is I wanted to build a Blink deck, which is very funny, calling him the Lidless Eye, which is essentially a deck around like flickering him so he gets his enter ability multiple times. But I was able to do it with Carnage more.
That's pretty fun. We'll have to take a look at Carnage sometime. That's a funny guy.
Oh, I love Carnage's design.
Speaking though of Galadriel, Shadow Wizard Elf Gang, deck. We love casting spells.
Yeah.
Look at this.
This is one of 4 Galadriels, I believe. I think there are 4 Saurons, 4 Galadriels.
Honestly, deserved.
But this is
deserved.
The commander deck. Oh yeah. Spoiler: there's like 7 Gandalfs.
Also deserved, but like no, Galadriel works. Like. And also, I mean,
Gandalf is the most. Gandalf and Aragorn, I believe, have the most. 100%.
I think they also do a great job of. I mean, Cate Blanchett is physically great. Like that works very well. I buy the hype, but like the description of like Galadriel can't think of anything to give Gimli, Prince of Dwarves, and Gimli is just like, would you give me a single strand of hair from your head so I can always remember this meeting? And she's like. Nah, fam. I don't care that I'm married. You can have 3.
I will say I like the skin tone change on Galadriel more because it makes more sense in the book. Because if I remember correctly, the Wood Elves were described as, because she's the Wood Elf, and if you look at
Yes.
Elrond, he's a pasty as a motherfucker, as he usually is. Because the Wood Elves are described as like more like wildkin, like almost dryad looking. So like I like that her skin looks like tree bark.
They might actually,
Yeah.
yes. I would have to line read, but they may actually have been described as like blending into the trees, and like that could just be magic,
they
or
are.
it could just be that they're brown and green.
No, because they are described as blending into the trees, because suddenly they're walking and then they're surrounded by Wood Elves.
But I also want to say that, like, while that is not, again, not directly literally quoted in Tolkien, that's the thing I've seen in a lot of modern fantasy is wood elf people being, for lack of a more elegant term, browner in skin tone. That's the thing I see a decent amount. That happens even in, like, anime, which, to go back to Dallas's discussion of occasionally dunking on the Japanese, Japan has an odd relationship with skin tone, and lots of Asian countries do. It is truly different over there. It just means that it can read weird to Western audiences. But like it's a thing you see of the wood elf people being darker. So it's like that's pretty normal in pop culture these days. She's still rocking the magical white hair.
Yeah.
I think technically
she didn't
Gimli
have the white
calls
hair
it
and the white
gold,
dress.
but it's a little like
no,
white
it looks
blondiness.
gold. It looks white and gold to me.
It's got a little bit of golden in there. It's they're doing something with the color shim. I think they maybe the artist blended a little too closely to her dress, but it works. It's like catching the sunlight a little bit. Anyway, Galadriel, Elven Queen, Elf Noble.
Oh god,
She's a 4/5
I
for
forgot about this
4.
deck.
The will of the council.
The council. We don't. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if another elf enters the battlefield under your control, starting with you, each player votes Dominion or Guidance. If Dominion gets more votes, the ring tempts you. Then you put a +1/+1 counter on your ring bearer. If Guidance gets more votes, the vote is tied, draw a card. Yeah, this is a deck about voting.
This is so fucking funny. I love this. We talked about playing another game in a game. This is like you're playing an elf deck, and then when you go to combat,
there are so many cards in this set that are like the gimmickiest. Like, it's the one disappointment I've had with like Final Fantasy and Marvel is like while I think they're definitely still creative, they haven't gotten as gimmicky and silly as Lord of the Rings since then.
Yeah, they play a little more serious. Like, there are some very funny Final Fantasy cards, but, like, I don't think there was ever that many of them that were like there was maybe one with the card that was literally triple triad, which, like, made you play a mini game in the game kind of effect. But for the most part, they're just, like, functional magic decks that happen to be very flavorful. This is, like, straight up, like... Commander I've already heard described, because it's a 4-man format, as a game of politicking. This literally makes it a game of politics. You will, if you go to combat and put another elf into the battlefield, everybody, including you, gets a vote. Like, they have to think. And you don't, if I'm understanding this correctly, you don't technically lose if you, either way. Like, both of these can benefit you.
No, these are both positive.
So it's more about your opponents picking which one they like the least.
Yeah.
Like, do they want to give you the
well,
ring
you
temp
also
and
get to
ring bearer
vote.
stuff?
You also get to vote.
But you don't have to vote for the one you want to actually happen. You can vote for the other one and try and trick your opponents into thinking what you want is to this way, and then they do the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is the...
Fuck everyone.
I mean, I think this kind of, like, I understand that I feel like it could kind of, like, slow down the game with, like, extra discussion. That's just my tabletop gamer coming in. But, like, this is the kind of bullshit I would play if I was playing Commander decks. Like, obviously, I think there was some Final Fantasy stuff that really did speak to me. But, like, this is the kind of shit where I would be, like, roll up and be like, Galadriel, Elven Queen. Hey, we're gonna play a game of politics in the middle here.
Have you all played Diplomacy before?
Do not betray. Also, it's a classic for us, but I'm just like... also, yeah, Aaron's saying that, yes, no, the that's another thing, D&D also used that a little.
Yeah,
the
Will of the
outcomes
Council.
of that. But yeah, we got Will of the Council and
Yeah.
stuff, and then we're gonna get to Elrond. This is like so funny. But I was gonna say, unrelated, but is related to channel lore. I recently saw the clip of the classic, the two dukes, or rather the
Oh my
Larry. How
God,
many dukes
that's
are in the deck?
such That's so fucking funny. It's still so funny.
No, it's great, and you can watch it because Ryan's not in that video.
Yeah.
I still feel a little weird sometimes about those clips. But like, the reaction of just like, you know, they're challenged. Alfredo flips one. What up?
I think it's Matt that finally figures it out. Just goes, "You fucker."
No. It's Jack that reveals it. I can describe the clip because I watched it. Like Alfredo gets called out by Trevor, reveals a Duke. Trevor flips one of his cards. It's a Duke. The camera, because of the edit, ratchets in on Jack, and he's got the most like thinking face on. He's just like, and then eventually, as they shuffle and deal out, Jack asks Larry, "How many Dukes are supposed to be in the deck?" And he's like, 3. And then Jack, of course, does the pitch perfect read and goes, "Larry, if you're bullshitting me, what can I do to you?" And Shifty Larry, of course, says, "You can hurt me." And Jack then immediately flips over both of his dukes, and everybody else just blows up. They're just like, "Oh!"
Yes.
Yeah.
Dallas,
Really
I'm
good
sorry.
play.
There's too many cards. I don't think we're gonna get through all of them.
Oh.
We may need to pick up to speed a little on some. It's already 9:30 here. How long have we been going?
Yeah.
Two and a half?
Like 2.5.
Not that long, but we'll see. We'll try and
I'm
tangent.
sorry.
Oh,
I do want
Ross.
to get to vintage story at some point.
I know. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
We won't take over long. But you're also freer tonight. You
Hello?
realize time was freed. Anyway, this is Elrond of the White Council. He's an Elrond-looking motherfucker. Great eyebrows they've given Gandalf. Love that.
I don't think that's Gandalf. I think that might be Radagast.
Yeah.
Or the blue ones.
It could be one of the blue ones because he's got a blue hat. I would assume it's Gandalf because I assume this is the council where they established the Fellowship. Did the other wizards even show up to that shit?
If that is Gandalf, they look very different to how every other Gandalf in the set looks.
I don't know. Like I said, it could not be, but, you know, different artists. If it
Maybe
is
a different
Gandalf,
one.
great eyebrows. If it's not Gandalf, great eyebrows. So let's see.
Yeah,
Elrond
regardless,
is
great
a
eyebrows.
5-mana 3/3 elf noble also. Secret Council. Another
When Elrond-
tabletop game players. Go ahead.
When Elrond of the White Council enters the battlefield, each player secretly votes for Fellowship or Aid. Then those votes are revealed. For each Fellowship vote, the voter chooses a creature they control. You gain control of this creature. And they gain, this creature can't attack its owner. For each Aid vote, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control.
Another great one. Another banger.
Yeah.
So like it's a game of politics. Do they give you do your opponents give you a bunch of 1/1 counters to distribute how you like, or do they volunteer to give you a creature with the caveat that it can't attack them? It's a very
great.
fun one.
Politics.
No, both of these are great. Let's talk about Eowyn's. The other commander for humans.
Eowyn, Shield Maiden.
Legendary creature, human knight. Pretty tough. So she's 5 mana. She's got the colors. 5/4 for strike.
Is she killing the fucking? What was it,
I think
Fell
she's
Beast
killing
or whatever it
the
is?
Yeah, I
the
think
horrible
that's the-
beasties the Nazgul had. You can
Which
see
she did
the Witch
kill that
King's
Fell Beast.
skeleton arm.
What the fuck?
Interesting
You
sword
killed my
design.
bird!
My dog.
It's just like,
You killed my dog!
hey, you know how long that took? How long it's gonna take me to get another Uber out of here?
There was only 9 of those. All the other Nazgul are gonna laugh at me.
I'm the boss! I can't not have my ride! At the beginning
Also, by the way, another creature that Tolkien just describes and like nobody understands what the fuck it is. It's probably not a dragon because those are important. So I guess they just have
Oh,
weird giant bird guys.
I don't mind the looks of this or the movie versions.
Oh.
They're both
I
good.
love these ones a little more just because I like how fucking putrid and vulture-like they look.
Hmm.
But I
The
also
vulture
like
look is
the
pretty
wiggly,
cool.
Wiggly boy. I love the Wiggly
Yeah.
boys.
Hey Dallas, can I ruin the movie versions for you?
What?
You ever played Monster Hunter?
At
Yeah.
the beginning of combat, on
Haven't
your
seen
turn,
Kazoo?
if another human enters the battlefield under your control this turn, create two
funny.
red human knight creature tokens with trample and haste that are 2 and 2. Then if you control 6 or more humans, draw a card. Yeah, human deck.
Yep. Humans.
Yep, guys.
Normally
not
I
like the-
associate swarming humans with red, white, black, but red, white, blue also works.
Yeah. I mean, red white is the like humans color.
Yeah, sorry, that's the
So whatever-
Boros colors, if from memory.
Yeah, Boros is correct. Yeah. Whatever you put after that
That's a such
is kind of like I wouldn't say she's the best humans commander, but she's definitely a good one.
It's a pretty good one,
There's-
and it
spoiler,
kind of
there's a
reminds
lot
me
of
of some
humans.
of the discussion we had with like. This is a slightly different flavor from some of the guys we saw with similar abilities in Final Fantasy, because those were usually white,
Oh, actually, no.
creature
I take
tokens.
that back. She is actually the top human commander now.
Oh, okay. Top and human. I mean, it's a pretty
That's
good
probably
ability,
just
like I
because
said.
there's a lot of human commanders.
And I mean, 2/2 guys
Yeah.
with trample and haste.
Spoiler. I'll put it this way: out of every creature type in all of Magic, humans are the 6th most popular creature type deck. At 60,000
And they are one of the most
decks.
numerous.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Spoiler: the ones ahead: dragons, elves, zombies, vampires, Eldrazi.
That tracks. I mean, you're
Yeah.
you're literally describing like also how like Yu-Gi-Oh works normally, where it's like,
No, dragons
warriors,
are number one
big
with the bullet.
dragons, number 1. And like, I think the only reason why it wouldn't be a different break is because somehow probably Magic has lots of human wizards as well as wizards,
Human.
Yeah. Human.
But yeah, a pretty solid commander, but also I feel like we don't need to talk about it too much because she's
kind
just
of a
pretty good and straightforward.
She just makes humans beat down.
And she's got a
Make
5 power with
humans
first
beat down.
strike. You're gonna slap some people. So
What?
let's talk about
It's
Saruman of the
the-
White Hand. Love this
yes,
goblin
the,
drawing.
The
Love this little Grebo
actual
gobbo.
main commander. Oh, the goblin designs in this and in the main set are fucking peak.
This is a pretty good Saruman drawing. Also, love that his staff is evil. You can tell because it's got that purple glow. So let's see. He's 4. He in fact has the colors we discussed previously: blue, black, red. Which is I don't think we actually talked about that with Sauron too much, but like that's the Mordor
Yes,
colors.
Those are the evil colors. The Grixis are the bad boys.
That is both in Magic the general colors of evil, and also those are the colors of the Mordor faction. We're gonna
probably
kill
my
you,
third-
we're gonna control you, and we're gonna burn a lot of stuff. Fuck trees.
Yeah, Grixis is probably my 3rd favorite color combo of all time for 3 colors. Spoiler:
I'm
my
not shocked
favorite is
at all.
Mardu, which is red, white, black.
Okay.
That's
Ha-
another
had
great
to
What,
once
what
again
do those
double
colors
check.
do? Kill. Whenever you
'cause-
cast.
Sorry, I just had to double check because we're talking about red, white. Red, black, blue, which is the evil colors. I had to double check what colors Jink and Taxus was because I fucking hate that guy.
Yeah, he's blue.
Okay, but please continue.
No, he's the blue plate. Correct.
I mean, blue. We've always talked that like
Raytor.
in real life, blue-black is the color of villains because that's the
Well, he ate Jin-Gitaxias ate a blue sun, which is why he's
very
blue.
funny. But like the blue-black combo is the colors we associate most with real-life villains.
Yeah.
But the red actually in there. But yes, you're saying.
Although
when you
red
cast
black is kind of more related to villain, like evil, if you want to quote unquote. Because red black is just the color of murder shit.
Yeah.
Murder, death, kill, murder.
The thing I'm saying, like I said, in real life though, is Dallas that players of just red black are just like aggro players who kill you. A blue black is a player who's telling you to fuck yourself.
No, oh my god, you got it wrong. Red white is the aggro player. Red black is 52 removal spells.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, it's the that's the color of
or I'm gonna
of
sacrifice
destruction.
my own shit to explode your face.
But we were saying this earlier. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you amass Orcs X, where X is that spell's mana value.
X is the spell's mana value.
Yes.
So you make a XX, or you make a 0/0 that has X +1/+1 counters.
Yeah, and then
there are other amass cards that are not just because amass was not a Lord of the Rings exclusive. It was originally a zombie army. Because I believe it was, I can't remember what the set's name, but it was when Nicobolus tried to take over the world with his zombie army. And then his cousin rebirthed out of an egg and killed him. Well, he didn't kill him, he
Oh, they
sealed him
get
in
the
a
surprise
tree.
egg from last time.
Well, and I do like the way this is written. So it's like, if you control an
literally
army
that.
already, you can put more counters on them.
Yeah.
But if you don't control any armies,
And
you create a
also,
0/0.
the ruling is, the interesting ruling is, if you do amass cards, they gain the characteristics of the army, so you will be a orc zombie army.
Yeah, no, that's what I said with I was reading with the, because it's like, put the counters on an army you control, and it's also an orc. So like you can start with an orc army, or if you already have another army, they become an orc army because you put a bunch of orcs in there. And then also,
I think it's
goblins and orcs you control all
only-
have ward 2.
Yeah, it's only orcs and zombies so far. So far.
Makes sense so far. That would honestly, it's probably because they were doing different things, but like talking about it, like that would have been a great that'd be a great keyword to put in Tyranids.
Or
God.
orcs.
Or orcs, yes. If they wanted to keep the flavors, that would work.
yeah.
I think for 40k orcs.
Like, I think Saruman is not a great commander for the deck he's put in, because that deck is a mishmash of pain. Of, like,
Yeah,
just poorly built
I
nonsense.
immediately read
But
him,
I
and
do
I'm like,
think Saruman is a better commander in every way than Sauron.
no, that's what I wanted to say. So Sauron is that kind of commander we talked about for like a Timmy player, where it's like, I'm gonna put my big ass guy on the board, you're all gonna die, and it's like, no, you're not gonna put that guy on the board, and even if you do, we're not gonna die. He's just a 9/9 with trample, my guy.
No. Yeah, he has no
who just reborns
defenses,
a single guy, a single random guy, and then makes orcs 5 once, because you're not gonna cast that guy again. Saruman is whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you make orcs. You make bigger orcs. You make more orcs. Oh, you killed my last orc army? I got another orc army. And then he incentivizes you to play goblin and orc tribal, obviously. Like, that's a thing you can work with.
Yeah. And there are well, yeah, there are a fair amount of orcs in this deck, and goblins are all over
I can't wait
MTG.
for them to make an orc 40k deck, so that way I can play Saruman as the fucking commander.
I mean, that is the
That's
joke.
funny.
And like I'm like, we talked before. I think they wouldn't do orc with a K just so you could do synergies like that. I'm just imagining all of them as like plant orc warrior. Would be so funny.
Would be so funny.
And then you have,
Well, no, they wouldn't all be warrior, because some of them would have to be artificers.
True.
The mech boys.
Mech boys would be artificers. Knobs would be nobles. Actually, that's what Knob stands for.
Yep.
You could have
Scouts
weird,
could work.
yes. Commandos could be scouts. You could have weird boys who were wizards.
No, they'd be warlocks. Or
Warlocks,
weird
probably
boys
much
are
better.
warlocks 100%.
Pain boys are doctors. Is there some sort of doctor or healer keyword you can put them under?
So
Shaman, maybe?
Doctor is currently there is. Let me check what Doctor Strange got made into. Because Doctor currently refers to Doctor as in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
that
don't
makes
think that would work.
No.
But yeah, there's plenty of stuff for like medics.
it'd
and
be-
stuff. There's
it'd be
cleric.
very funny.
You could do cleric
That would be so funny. Pain boy as again, plant orc cleric.
or cleric. Yeah,
Anyway, here's the old gaffer.
the old gaffer. They shame his dad.
Old
Shaman's
Hamfast
daddy.
Gamgee. Real name by like all these are real English speaking names.
God, the fucking people make fun of it a lot because they're like people like I've heard people make it. I fucking love the Hobbit names. They're such fucking like stream of consciousness nonsense. I love them. Like Brandy Bucks and Bofers and biffers and all that bull crap.
Bifas, Bofas, Mariottux, Brandybucks, Tooks, Bagginses.
I should throw you into myself.
That's, again, Tolkien was, I mean, he was a philologist, he was a linguist, so it makes sense. But excellent choice of syllables. Like, Took is great, because it's got a double vowel, but it's got hard consonants wrapping it. So, like, that's a perfect read to read in Gandalf's voice. Fool of a Took.
It also helps it. Oh, no, he didn't say that calmly.
I know.
He threatened to murder that boy. To be fair, deserved. You woke up a demon. Nice.
Yes.
Oh no,
they didn't know about the demon for sure, but Gandalf was worried there was a demon down there. He was like, "There might be a demon." Doran's Bane's probably a demon, guys.
I know this is great. I know this is crazy. I think my cousin's down there.
You wouldn't like him, guys. He's real fucked up, man.
Because spoiler, all of the Balrogs are all corrupted Maiar, right?
Honestly, that's probably why people think of the Maiar as angels, because the Balrogs are definitely like demonic fiend creatures, fire and shadow and shit. Not literally the horn-winged thing. Yeah. That's again a later interpretation. I think it's a valid one, but they are just described as like.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're corrupted by Morgoth, though, right?
Yes.
Because I was about to say that fight with Saruman would have gone so much differently if he just turned into a fucking Balrog.
No, so it's funny. Even though, because spoiler, or not spoiler, what the fuck am I talking about? Spoiler. But Sauron is also a Maiar, but he isn't corrupted in that way. He's just evil. Yeah,
the Balrogs are specifically Maiar that Morgoth corrupted, which is that's his thing. Is that like Morgoth
in the pain chamber
could not. Morgoth was barred from creating truly. He could only pervert pre-existing creations, and Sauron was a guy who saw Morgoth and was like, "That's my guy," which is why he's the way he is. So like he also is limited to like he can't really create new shit. He can only ape what Morgoth did before him, basically. Which is funny that Saruman kind of like is like industrializing, like doing new things, but he's doing it different. Yeah, Saruman worked for the same guy at some point. The big guy upstairs. Anyway, the Gaffer. It's interesting that he is a legendary creature, so he could be a commander, but I don't know if you'd want to do that. That could probably work. Can you do purely life gain as a mono white?
Oh yeah, you could.
Okay, because it's just like at the beginning of each end step, if you gain 3 or more life, you draw a card. That's just
he goes in every life game deck. I'll put it that way. He's a very strong card.
Dallas, follow me on this one. This is a great. It's so funny that this is the Gaffer who's growing up a weird potato. This is a meat and potatoes card.
Yeah.
This card doesn't do anything extraordinary on his own. He just means if you're gaining life, you're gaining cards, baby.
Yeah, and that is every turn, so that is each of your opponent's turns as well.
Yeah, so any triggers where you're gaining life.
Yeah, eat a food. That's exactly enough. Potato.
I think I will say it. So this card, this blue card, Raise the Palisade. I'm like, I don't.
Oh, this card's so fucking sick.
It's a cool card. I don't actually know what we're referencing here.
I think.
Did Galadriel? Like, I'm sure she's beating the shit out of some orcs at some point, but. Was there a?
I think this might literally be the scene they adapted from the Silmarillion where she confronts. Because I think that's Elrond behind her.
That might
be.
I think. No, not in purple, though. The guy
in white in the back going, oh.
The guy going, oh, are you cool?
Sorry, Elrond. You were a cool guy, but also, like, that...
Because I think that's Glorfindel?
Could be Glorfindel.
I think.
Glorfindel's pretty important. It also could just be, like... because the Fellowship was being chased outside of the Mines of Moria. It could have been something that in the books was much more literal, being more metaphorical. Like, they raised the Palisades, they actually put up some walls that are trees, and now they're just like, what if Galadriel did that shit with magic? I don't know.
Regardless,
ring.
It's
pretty cool.
It's badass because once again, Galadriel, very badass.
No, this is pretty baller. It does cost you 5, but only 1 blue, and it's a sorcery.
Yeah, but
it just says choose a creature type. Return all creatures that aren't of the chosen type to their owner's hands. It has a great card about Galadriel. So it's just like, it's also so funny that this is Galadriel and it can go in her deck. This is absolutely all non-elves, get out. If you are not an elf, get the fuck out of my forest.
Fuck off.
Get the fuck out of my forest. Get gone.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
She seemed tall beyond measure, beautiful beyond enduring, terrible and worshipful. God, Tolkien is very good at writing descriptions.
Now Tolkien's he's an OG for a reason. That guy fell in love with Beowulf and was just like, I want to do that. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, I want to make this, but more.
But
what if I made 3 of these?
Just describe. Technically 6, because each book is actually formatted in 2 books.
That's true.
But yeah, no. Great concept, and I just love the jokes of just being like, all right, I declare, elf, all non-elves, get out. But this works for
needless to say, this card is insanely strong, and in any deck.
Yeah, I was gonna say anyone where you're playing a pretty strong singular creature type and can play blue, this is great.
You would play this, 100%. Like this, like I said, this is I didn't say this, but this is the most played card in the commander decks in other decks.
Yeah,
no, absolutely, I understand it because this is this is a great fluff, but also great generic power card of just like, are you playing a deck that is mostly monotypes?
This card has actually been reprinted into a. It wasn't into a full set because I don't think they wanted to put it in standard, but it was into the bonus sheet of a recent set. They reprinted this.
Put a cool one in there. That makes sense. Yeah. Because, this could be Wizards fuck off. This could be Soldiers fuck off. I would have to look back through Final Fantasy and see, like, what the blue creature types were predominantly. I think there were a few, though. Like, there's tricks.
Okay. I'm sorry. I've been looking for a card art for a million years because a card got reprinted in Marvel that was... a card from this commander set, so I could only find the Marvel art, which is not appropriate. So there we go.
Taunt from Rampart. Okay, thank you.
Let's
talk about the Black Gate.
The Black Gate.
Legendary land. I think it's were any of the Final Fantasy lands also legendary?
Yes, there were some.
Okay, some of them were. It's been long enough, and we looked at a lot of cards.
From the actual set, there were.
Okay.
I don't believe there were any in the commander decks. But.
Let's see. Black Gate. As the Black Gate enters the battlefield, you may pay 3 life. If you don't, it enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap it to add 1 black mana. And you could pay 2 mana. One of it's supposed to be black, sorry. Tap it. Choose the player with the most life or type for the most life. Target creatures against them can't be blocked this turn. You open the Black Gate, and the armies of Mordor pour out. Cool. Yeah. Honestly, for a legendary land, it seems okay. Like
that's what it says on the tin.
Yeah,
it's very good because it's very generic.
Yeah,
that's the thing. This is good in a lot of decks.
And you did talk about, because we haven't really seen too many other cards in it to discuss, but you did talk about how the Mordor deck as a precon is kind of all over the place. So this being a actual like generic tech piece in black decks.
Yeah.
No, that's all right.
The Mordor deck actually has a bunch of generic good cards. I just didn't want to put all of them because a lot of them are kind of like very generic.
This one I at least like because, like I said, the idea with the pay mana effect is you fucking open the Black Gates and the army comes out. Cool, got it.
I would be honest, I mostly put this down here because I fucking love the art.
No, this is a sick art. It's another one that, like, again, Tolkien just describes things, but like, you get the idea of the Black Gate as like this really narrow pass in these giant ass mountains with huge towers, and I think the movies did a pretty good. The miniature work, the sets in the movies are really good. Like, very, very strong art design. Let us jump straight from the Black Gate to Prize Pig, just because it's super funny.
The pig.
It's big. It's creature board.
It's big.
Whenever
This
you
card
gain
is
life,
so
put that
fucking
many
funny.
ribbon counters on Prize Pig. Then if there are 3 more ribbon counters on Prize Pig, remove those counters and untap it, and he's a mana dork.
Yeah.
This seems pretty
It's another
strong in your life
Good
gain
in
decks.
most life gain decks. Yeah. Well,
And we've
okay.
talked-
It's good in a certain kind of life gain deck.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Because there's multiple kinds of life gain deck. In any life gain deck where you're gaining incremental life a lot, this card is very good. In decks where you're gaining like 50 life once, it's not as good.
No. You want to gain like ideally
Like
if
in
you
the
could
Bilbo
gain
deck, this card is amazing.
Yeah,
'Cause
if
that
you could
deck is
gain
all about
three
like small
life
instances of-
separately in a turn, so you can basically at least in a turn, so you can basically tap him again, like double his use every turn. That's pretty solid. If you can gain more than that in small amounts to keep giving him ribbon counters, because if there are 3 or more ribbon counters, remove them and untap him. That's not once per turn. That happens every time you build up 3 or more counters.
Yup.
So, like, anytime you're gaining either 1 life incrementally or 3+ life at once, this guy untaps, and then he's just extra mana. That's pretty cool. Also, I do want to say, before we move on to the next one, for the Ramparts, not the Ramparts, the Palisades, Aaron also brought up a good point in chat. You could also just use it on yourself if you're not playing a type deck. Declare a type that's just not on the board and just put all your
Yes.
guys back. Reset all
You
your
can do
guys. That's probably not the
No,
optimal use,
raise
but,
the
like, it's a
Palisade.
very flexible card.
Yeah. Well,
The pig
it's
is also
there-
kind of
there
flexible,
are
but-
other. Also, one other thing I should mention. Yeah, the only reason that's not as recognizable is because there are other cards for a similar mana cost that already do bounce everything.
Yeah.
But you can do some. Aaron's right. There's some like niche stuff you can do. Like in response to a board wipe, you can choose your opponent's creature type to save all your stuff and have theirs still die.
It's a very, very
but-
funny, mean way. Okay, let's talk about
Like
the
I-
Darkness Bind. Let's just hit him with a big one.
In the darkness, bind.
So it's 5. It's got the colors of the Mordor deck. It's got a sick ass art. Love this.
Yep.
So the Saga again, it works through all the stuff. After 4, you get rid of it. But your first 3 turns of Saga counters are create a 3/3 Black Wraith with Menace. The ring tempts you. So just create some ring wraiths, get some extra boys. For
I
each-
will say.
Good.
Okay. Just. Oh no, we'll finish it first.
Okay. For 4, then, is for each opponent, gain control up to 1 target creature that player controls until the end of the turn. Untap all those creatures. They gain haste until the end of the turn. The ring tempts you.
Yeah. This card is cool. You make the 9 Nazgul.
Yeah.
Oh, I almost didn't put this guy. I'm fucking stupid.
I think this seems very funny. Also, talking about overlay, I don't know if the colors line up, but in the Saga decks that we saw in Final Fantasy, or some of the token decks where you can manipulate
Well,
the tokens.
Saga deck is 5 color in most. of
Okay, yeah. So this
I'll
seems
say
like
this.
another really funny one to put in that, to just be like infinite Wraith tokens.
It's not very good, but it's funny. And also,
Yeah.
what I was going to say is there's also a saga in the main set that we'll talk about another time that is called One Ring to Rule Them All. So in the Hobbit set, I need there to be a saga called One Ring to Find Them and One Ring to Bring Them All. Because then you
That's,
can have the
yeah.
entire epithet as
Yes.
a saga cards. And that would be
That's great. That's
funny.
very fun. Let's do another one. Another great quote. For Therlingus, a sword day, a red day. It's great. Great speech.
Oh, Theoden. Who was Theoden's actor? He did such a fucking good job.
I forget his name, but they picked some great actors for this, and some great guys did it.
Yeah.
No, but he's a great
But
fan.
he to me, Theoden stood out among a lot of the actors as like, oh, you did like a lot.
Yeah.
It's not to compare them directly, but it reminds me of how Charles Dance was so good as Tyrion Lannister, or Tywin Lannister. Sorry, they have similar names. That like he made that character better because that guy in the books is kind of a dork.
Yes.
But Charles Dance is just so fucking good at his job that you're just like, yeah, whatever this guy says is right. Like he brought a extra screen presence.
The late Bernard Hill.
Yes, Bernard Hill. That's right.
He was also in Titanic.
I'm sure he's in a lot of stuff, and
Captain
I bet he
Smith.
was in some fucking Royal Company Shakespeare shit as well.
Oh, probably.
Like a lot of the guys in that, like bringing a theatrical aspect to it. But this is a sorcery. It's red, white, X. It's you create X 2/2 human knight creature tokens with trample and haste because they have horses. And then whenever one or more creatures you control do combat damage to one or more players this turn, you become the monarch.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm just thinking of a very punny set. It would have to be Commander, but I'm thinking of a Venture Brothers set where they completely reimagine becoming the monarch. The mighty monarch.
I am the monarch.
And
That would be
he
very
has a
funny.
fucking, what is it, a flip one? It turns into a fucking blue morpho.
That would actually be pretty sick. Honestly, you could do... I know it's weird because, like, I feel like Venture Brothers is kind of, like, out of the cultural zeitgeist because it took them forever to, like, make their finale movie and stuff.
So good, though.
But the show is really, really good. There's a lot
It's
you could
such a
mine for a
smart-
very...
I'll say this. I think Venture Brothers, like, there's a lot of superhero parody stuff. I think Venture Brothers might be the smartest superhero parody thing.
No, it's
that I
very
can think of.
intelligent.
Like, by being a good parody and also not hating its source material, but making fun of it, it's just so good.
Okay.
Anyway,
But yeah,
let's
that,
get
that
on
would
to,
be a very
uh,
one. Yeah.
oh god, I can never pronounce her fucking name.
You
Gilrain?
posted more cards, Dallas.
Gilrain, I think.
Yeah, Gilrain.
Gilrain? It's Aragorn's mom. And you see baby Aragorn.
Yes. Miss not appearing in the film, but she was in the
Yes,
backstory.
Miss from the Cimmerillion.
Let's see. Human noble. Man, it works. I love that she's just got a quote in one of the languages on there. Unfortunately, I'm not so based as to speak it.
I believe that is Dunedain. Or the
Yeah,
language of Dunedain.
but I'm not as much of a champ.
What does
Yeah, I
that
don't know what that
mean?
means.
No fucking clue.
Yeah, I'm not that.
I
much
think
of a
it might
champ.
mean. I think it might mean run, kid. They're gonna kill us. 'Cause I think that's what this card is referencing. Because yeah, spoiler. Aragorn's mom.
So I'm just thinking of the meme
not
now of like,
blown.
no, Aragorn. They're gonna. You can't do this. Your swag too great. Your bitch too bad. They'll kill you.
Yeah. So she is a legendary creature, human noble. Very true. Exile
mono
another target creature you control. You may return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of next end step. Return that creature with a vigilance counter and a lifelink counter on it, if it's yours.
So it's you may return that card to the battlefield under its owner control. If you don't, at the beginning of the next step, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control with a vigilance counter and lifelink counter.
This is obviously referencing her protecting Aragorn from being killed, murdered.
Yes, send him away. You must go.
Yeah.
You are the once and future king. You got to get out of here. But no, honestly, I mean, she is a legendary creature. I
this is
don't
a good
know
card.
if I would run this as a mono white commander.
As a commander, no.
But it's
No.
it's a funny ability in other white decks because like obviously you can use this
it's
to
a very good effect in blink decks, but
Yeah.
I don't think she's good enough to be a blink commander.
yeah, you can
But I like
give it you can use it to give stuff back to your opponent if you don't want to be having it to slurp them
Yeah.
back. But mostly you're probably using this to like blink
Get your
cards,
entry
like you
triggers
said.
again. Yeah.
And get
It's-
vigilance and lifelink out of it if you didn't have it already.
She do be like it. Yeah, especially for commanders that have a blink ability, like an enter ability. I feel like she's
It is
at the
Cinder?
best
Okay,
in
thank you.
commanders. I think she is at her best when she is in the deck of a commander that has an enter ability, but not a blink commander. You know what I mean? Like she's
Yes.
too slow to be a blink deck. But if you have a really good enter trigger,
Yeah,
and
you
want to be
use
able
her
to
to
reuse
blink
it
your
sometimes,
your guys, basically.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this guy.
Speaking
Great
of
art.
worst people ever.
Yeah,
One of,
Grima.
in my opinion, probably one of the most evil people in all of Lord of the Rings.
Oh, I mean, he's blue-black, so like I said, he's right there. But yeah, Grima sucks. Because once again, I think he just does all this for the love of the game.
Have anything redeeming about he's.
Sorry, I know I'm the guy who says we shouldn't tangent a lot, Omega. I just had to quickly go make this.
Oh, you got another memes? Thank you, Lot. I gotta press this. I gotta show the people at home.
I can't quite get the accents for that speech.
No, but it's close enough.
Imagine it says something stupid.
That's real good. I mean, Arc translated in chat. It's I gave hope to the Dunedain. I've kept no hope for myself.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool, pretty baller.
She
so,
has a very tragic life.
There's a few of those in Lord of the Rings, but Grima, who didn't have a tragic life, everything that happened to him was deserved. You can see him here.
Well, he also wins in the end. That's the thing. He doesn't face any consequences.
They don't put him in 1,000 Years dungeon.
He stabs Saruman and runs.
Okay, he completely flees. I'm sure Gandalf was just like
because he stabbed this dude who turns into Saruman on their floor and starts dying, and everyone's too busy looking at that like, holy shit, that was Saruman, and he just runs.
Yeah, and he just skedaddles. Because I should also point out the movie's completely cut out the Scouring of the Shire, which was necessary because the movie's already too long. It's got too many endings.
Yes.
And the Scouring would have been kind of depressing.
Yes, the Scouring of the Shire is incredibly depressing out of nowhere.
Yeah. Where it's just it's part of the metaphor. Frodo returns home and he will never be the same because not only will he never forget the horrors of war,
random,
but also
sibling hobbits that tear him apart. I forgot.
So they do catch him. All right, they get his ass. But he temporarily gets away at least. He flees the scene before they get him. But I was going to say, the Scouring is obviously, not only does Frodo have to deal with basically a metaphor for, not even a metaphor, literally post-traumatic stress disorder. Just with magic also. Yes. But also in the novels when he gets home, he finds that the idyllic pastoral landscape he left behind is no more because also the horrors of war have reached everywhere.
Yes.
They bulldozed your pastoral farm and built a coal mine there.
Yeah. Saruman disguised himself as a hobbit and took over the Shire.
Yes,
we will definitely talk about him when we do the main set, because one of my favorite cards in the entire set is Sharky.
Because he managed to escape the fucking town. Anyway, we'll talk about that when it happens.
Yeah.
Anyway, Grima, Saruman's footman. Cannot be blocked.
Of course.
Sneaky boy. When he deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile an instant or sorcery. You may cast that card without playing its mana cost. Then they put the rest of their cards
in a random order.
Yeah.
That's not even
that
shuffle,
sure is really fucking annoying.
Yep.
Is this guy... He's unblockable.
Yes,
he's legendary. Is he cool enough to be a commander? Or is this just an annoying guy you put in other decks?
He's more of that.
Because it seems like he's just a really annoying guy you're putting in your
He's not a bad commander. He's almost broken 1,000 decks. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
He has more decks built around him than Elrond does. Rip Elrond.
I mean, oh man, I don't want to be mean to Elrond, but like in the actual Lord of the Rings text, not the backstory, Elrond doesn't actually do that much actively. He's just like in
the background,
he's a reasonable authority figure. He is the guy who
in the background,
organizes.
He is like the fourth. He's like the fourth coolest elf. Like all of the other elves are kind of cooler than him. It's like he's important, but his
main thing is that he was.
His biggest role is Arwen's father.
Yeah, his primary role is he was there firsthand to witness Isildur be a dick, be a dumbass.
Yes.
And you know, and like, but otherwise he's mostly just like a reasonable authority figure who can organize guys because like Gandalf can't actually organize people because he's a weird recluse wizard.
Gandalf is a weirdo.
So like he needs his good buddy Elrond to like send out the invitations to the powwow, otherwise nobody will show up to the magical UN.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be like, no, Gandalf's weird, I don't want to go.
He's a
just imagine the dwarves are just like, Gandalf the Grey, we're still not sure about that shit you pulled with the Lonely Mountain Man. That was weird. That was a weird one.
Like, help. To be fair, they butchered the ending of that movie so much.
Oh no, the movie ending is very bad. But I was gonna say like well, not very bad, but it's
by
like,
the end of
it's
well, they just made it way too happy. Because I'm pretty sure only in the movie only what's his face dies, right? Only main guy.
Talking about Thorin Oakenshield?
Yeah, only Thorin dies.
No. Oh shit, was it Feely or Keely? They get him.
Like,
they get him
book,
too.
Like half of them die.
No. Yeah,
Like,
a couple extra ones are not killed in the film. It's supposed to be like a freaky last stand. It's also very
like
funny.
The main elf guy dies.
They actionized the sequel. They actionized the films because Bilbo gets hit in that. If you don't know, the ending of The Hobbit is honestly also kind of sucky because it's an anticlimax. Because Bilbo gets hit in the head with a rock like in the first like seconds of the battle, and he wakes up, and Gandalf is just like, "Hello, Bilbo. You fucking missed everything. Everybody's dead, dumbass. Take your money and let's go. Let's get out of here. They don't like. I can't stay here, Bilbo. I can't stay here. I can't stay here anymore, Bilbo.
They don't like me.
Dwarves gonna get
I committed war crimes, Bilbo.
There's this all elaborate scheme to wipe out my dwarf debts.
Bilbo, I committed war crimes. I used to buy our children. We need to leave.
Bilbo, they're gonna put my name in the Book of Grudges. We've got to go. We got to get the fuck out. Yeah. So like I said, you can't trust Gandalf.
No.
Yeah, it's not.
But speaking,
no, I don't think Thranduil died. There's some elves who get got. A lot more people on all sides of the Battle of Five.
Oh no, I think Thranduil loses a limb, is what it is.
I feel like he does get injured or put in peril.
I just remember the Bashki Hobbit ending where all three of them are negotiating and like covered in bloody bandages. Like, can we stop?
I'm pretty sure like he doesn't like he definitely doesn't straight up win in the book. Like I don't remember if anybody goes into detail of him getting fucked up, but I think he gets beat up a little, and then like you said, it's ultimately everybody comes together and realizes, okay, some orcs showed up. This was dumb. This was dumb actually.
This was dumb. We're all stupid. Let's never talk about this again.
I'm gonna go back to my forest. You guys go back to your mountain. You guys go back to your lake town. We're gonna skedaddle.
We regret all of this, and we're leaving now.
And we're not entirely convinced it's not Gandalf's fault.
Yeah.
Because he's a weird wizard who manipulates people. Anyway, Grima, like you said, he seems like a strong card. And he sounds I mean, it's Grima Wormtongue, so it's expected. He sounds fucking annoying, though. He's an unblockable little one guy, and he just like...
I've run him in a couple decks. He's very good in any decks that want to cast spells from exile, because he auto casts a spell from exile. Funny enough, I have him in a
spell or instance too.
Yeah, I have him in a Doctor Who deck because I built Rassilon, the War President. He's in that deck. God, that'd be a hilarious interaction. Grima would try and backstab him, and then he would just erase the little guy from existence. Like, I'm going to backstab you. I control time.
What were some funny Final Fantasy blue-black cards? There were a few. Are there any good villains who were blue-black in Final Fantasy? Because I'm just imagining the funny interactions.
What were some?
Well, there's like 9 Sephiroths, so.
But purely black, I believe, was boy Emmett.
Oh,
that's
Selk
so
blue
fucking
black.
funny. Yes, Emmett Selk and Grima Wormtongue. That would be another case where he would try and backstab Emmett Selk, and Emmett would just be like, "No," snaps fingers. He explodes.
I planned 5 steps ahead of you.
Actually, no, he wouldn't even explode him. He would just pull out the gat, and he would just be like, no, bang. You have a gun?
Would
Of course
he
I have a
even
gun.
kill him and would he just go? You just don't want to do this. I just don't. Just don't.
We've been through the song and dance how many times before? Oh wait, that was a different you.
Yeah. Ultimacio was blue black.
That just
Weren't actually that many
not down.
That's also very funny. Anyway, I've pulled up Pippin and Mary real quick here. They're great boys. They're having fun.
The dumbest boy and his friend, who's there. Sorry, Mary is to me the least memorable member of the fellowship.
Technically, he doesn't do out of the 4. He does the least, but yeah.
He is the extra guy. I mean, he still has his own moments, you know.
Well, he isn't.
Out.
Like, here's the thing: both Pippin and Mary have less moments, but at least I remember Pippin because he's so fucking stupid.
Well, I mean that is actually the dynamic, right? Of like, because like, Mary and Pippin are troublemakers, and Pippin's the one who instigates. So he like. They run into Sam and Frodo hiding out and are like, "Oh, it's my cousin Frodo," you know, because he you know, Peregrine Took. So he's like, "Oh, it's my cousin Frodo. He's out doing some shit." That sounds like a fun time. You're going as far as Bree? Oh, well, you know, I've never been to the Prancing Pony. Hey, Mary, we can get some bevs, you know, and then. Shout out to Mary and Pippin. They realize Frodo's in fucking trouble and they stick with him all the way to Rivendell. They're like,
yeah,
we gotta
I
rob the
like
homie.
their character.
But no, it's like literally, it's like
Mary would be
in the book. It's I think it is like when Sam jumps in, it's then Pippin who immediately goes, "Wait a minute, if you're doing a thing, I'm in this." And then Mary is the last guy to be like, "Well, if we're all doing it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But
he's
yeah,
going,
so
I'm
guys.
going.
So
partners.
let's do Pippin first because
So
it kind of
Pippin makes a
explains what the
food.
deck is supposed to be. So Pippin creates a food, and that which is I think because his dad owns a bunch of farms.
Yeah, makes sense. Also, the creative food could just be that he stole some food. Don't worry where he gets the food
That's
from.
also true.
He's always stealing shit.
Then tap, sacrifice 4 foods. Other creatures you control gain +3/+3 in haste until end of the turn. Activate only as a sorcery. And then Mary is whenever one or more artifacts enter the battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 white soldier token with lifelink. This ability only triggers once each turn. So it's like it's another food deck. It's not as it's a little more. How do I put this? I feel like it's more already built, like a different direction than Sam and Frodo. Like weirdly enough, it's this like weird synergistic like make a big board deck, so you can do some weird stuff with that. Like I don't hate them. They're not bad.
I will say I think it's a little funny
slant.
that Pippin is black-green. I know he does get involved in some of the Gondorian shenanigans, but it's a little funny to me that like they have to split the colors that way.
Is Mary black-white?
No, Mary's green-white, yeah.
Okay, I think Mary should have been black-white, because Mary went to some dark places.
Yeah, like I mean, he kills some guys in the Riders of Rohan, you know.
Well, he also just had to deal with Denethor. Or is that Pippin?
No, that is Pippin. Pippin is the
okay, so Pippin being
the Gondor
Pippin
one.
being black, Pippin being black does make perfect.
Yeah, that's
sense.
what I said.
Yes.
Like he does get involved in the Gondor stuff,
Mary's-
which is a little freaky. But Mary's perfect.
Yeah.
Green white's perfect.
Mary's
for
the
this
one
guy.
who is riding along with Eowyn as people are being crushed by elephants.
Okay, yeah, right. I really
So
don't.
I do
remember
also
Holy
agree with
Fawns.
Aaron in chat. Mary has I love the card art for Mary of just like he's
Oh
hopping
no,
out.
the art's amazing. He's
got the rest of the pie that Pippin has, but he's also like,
Yeah, he is
look at all this
Hobbit
cool
maxing.
shit I found.
Yeah, this is after they've raided Isengard and been like, oh shit.
Oh, which by the way is
The food
I think it's in the extended cut only. It was cut, but that is what happens in both the book and the films. Of just like when Gandalf and the gang finally get to Isengard later, they're just sitting on the wall smoking Saruman's best pipe weed, chilling with like piles of all his best food and shiny shit, and they're just like, "Hey, homies, what up? We and the Ents fucking invaded Isengard. Saruman's trapped inside." It's fucking lit here, man.
That's still in the normal version. The extended cut is them finding the food stores and leaving the two towers.
Oh, Dallas has also added a tree beard. Let's go to that one next, just because he's remembered it.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. There's a lot of guys. Mary did shank.
I also just love this art.
No, I mostly think I want to see this for the art. I do like Treebeard as a tree folk, though. It's a good fit. He's got trample. He's got
it's
ward.
a common creature type. When Treebeard, Gracious Oaths enters the battlefield, create 2 food tokens. Whenever you gain life, put that many 1/1 counters on target halfling or tree folk, which is actually pretty substantial. Like,
that seems like
put that many is actually really strong.
Yeah. Whenever you
that's
gain
like crack
life,
a food to put 3+1/+1 counters on something.
Yeah, on a halfling or tree folk. That makes me want to figure out a halfling tree folk deck. Like, not even just with
honestly,
Lord of the
I
Rings.
feel like Treebeard is kind of stronger than Merry Pippin and Sam and Frodo as a life gain commander.
He's much more specific, but it's definitely like you get a lot out of it because it's like Bilbo where it turns your life gain into a win con, which is just like all my halflings and tree folk are fucking jacked.
It's almost the opposite of Bilbo because if you gain bigger numbers, it's better. So if you gain like 7 life in one something, you can just like make huge creatures.
And obviously, like, he's a 0/5, but you're supposed to give him some of the tokens, so he eventually gets mad.
And hey, spoiler, one of Tree Folk's things that they tend to do is have cards that let you hit with toughness. That is the Tree Folk thing. Is we got big aces and we can hit you with them.
That seems like a very fun deck to rumble together.
Yeah.
Let's talk
honestly,
about
Treebeard seems funner than both of them.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this part of the book.
Now we have the scouring that's up.
Yeah.
Subjugate
I love
the
this
hobbits.
art. They really
They went ham on this,
way.
yes. Of Saruman just fucking
gain control. It's just a 7-mana sorcery.
Yeah.
Gain control of each non-commander creature with mana value 3 or less. All your tiny people, give them. And that
all your guys work for me.
There's no give it. They're not giving them back at the end of the turn. There's no.
No, it's a fucking 7-mana spell. It's just like all your little guys, give them to me.
Yeah, I will say this though: mass control with no giving back at the end of turn is still very rare, even at 7 mana. Or more likely, if it's 7 mana, it'd be gain control of everything. Then at the end of turn, sacrifice everything. That's usually more what it is.
Yeah.
Like getting to keep them and not
tokens. I believe are a non-commander creature. Like if they're a creature token, they count.
All creature tokens count. So give them.
So like this
is like an anti-token.
A crazy turnaround deck where it's just like, I see you've made a shitload of tokens. Cool.
Yeah.
Those guys work for me.
Yeah. This card is hilarious. I would never run it because it's way too targeted, but it's very funny.
I also love the fact it is mana valued, so you can get around like power or like toughness. So it is just hey, those small people.
Gives
yoink.
Yes.
What a great artist name, by the way, Chris Cole.
This is worse than Mordor. Much worse. It comes home to you, as they say, because it is home, and you remember it before it was all ruined. Yeah, this is totally not Tolkien expressing his opinions on war after the London bombings and all of that. No, definitely
his experience with 2 world wars?
Yeah, no, not at all. Just no, none of that.
we talked earlier in the preamble, and it came a little in the mic about talking about how Gundam's anti-war. Lord of the Rings is also like it's a big epic saga, but it also comes with like, and all that heroism was very cool and important. But also, guess what? War fucking sucks. Don't do that.
I don't know if Lord of the Rings is fully anti-war, but it's definitely horrors of war.
It definitely, like, I think it's very humanizing, we should say. Like, it very much, like, from Tolkien's own experience, he's like, yeah, some of that stuff we did was very necessary, and some of the stuff other people did was necessary, because obviously, like, he didn't actually sit down and write the book until, I think, after the Second World War, which was, like, it was a pretty necessary one, but it still sucks. War still sucks.
It's really funny, even though it's, like, you have one of the least necessary wars followed by the most necessary war. It's kind of funny like that.
And here's Big G himself, but this is at the end of the movie.
Jesus. This Gandalf is... There are many Gandalfs. This is certainly one of them.
It's a Gandalf of all time. So he is 5 mana. He is green-blue, which I think for Gandalf the White going to the west probably works. You know, he's returning.
I think most Gandalfs are blue. There's one that isn't.
Blue is probably the color you would use for Gandalf because,
there are
like,
2 that aren't.
Okay.
Can you guess
Blue
what
is probably
color
the most
those 2 that
common
aren't
color. Because I just want to say because he is the team smart guy. Are they mono white? They're both white.
Yeah.
They're Gandalf the White. Yeah.
Well, one is Gandalf the White, and one is Gandalf White Rider. It's literally him charging the orcs at Helm's Deep.
That's pretty funny.
On a horse.
I think it works out, but like I said, like blue is probably the color I would use mostly for Gandalf, especially in his gray mode. Like, first of all, Hobbit Gandalf, that guy's mono blue. Like for the actual text of the Hobbit.
I don't know if he's mono blue. He might be blue red. He
does shoot some fireworks and do some weird shit in that movie. Or in that book. He does also kill some guys with his sword a lot more in The Hobbit. But yeah, like
the sun.
He's definitely primarily blue because like he's the weird guy doing schemes in the background.
Oh, yeah.
Gandalf in The Lord of the Rings is the team smart guy, but definitely like being like Gandalf the White mono white is like just very funny. But the westward guy's effect is... Sorry, I almost closed the tab. We didn't want to do that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Whenever you cast a spell with greater mana value, with 5 mana value or greater, so this is any type of card that basically... each opponent reveals library. If any of those cards share a card type with that spell, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy, and obviously if it's a permanent, it becomes a token. Otherwise, you draw a card. He's cool, but why the fuck is he in the Galadriel deck? He does not synergize with it at all.
I mean, it's because he's blue-green, obviously. Yeah,
I think it's because they needed to put Gandalf in a precon deck, and they could not put him in the human deck.
Yeah.
Or the halfling deck.
Gandalf in the fucking human deck.
I mean, you could have put Gandalf in the Hobbit deck, but you'd probably have to do a more Hobbity or early Gandalf, and I don't know what you would do for that besides like.
Well, they couldn't have made it blue. They couldn't have made it blue.
Yeah, that's the problem. The colors don't match up.
Yeah. I don't know. I like this card's design. It is a completely unique commander or in a unique commander deck.
I mean, I will say that is the thing we did see sometimes with like the Final Fantasy commanders decks. Sometimes they have an idea for a cool card, and they're like, "Okay, this isn't the theme of the precon, but this is a card who would be a cool commander. We're gonna hide him in the commander deck."
If I'm ranking decks on how much they are good as decks and not like I like a lot of the ideas and a lot of these, but as decks, the Mordor deck is the worst, and the Galadriel deck is probably the second least cohesive.
Probably
the Hobbit deck and the Humans deck are both very good.
Yeah. This is our second to last. Maybe it should have been our last.
So
talk about this. But this is the card you were looking for the original Lord of the Rings art for because they reprinted it. But pretty good concept. This is Helm's Deep. The art is definitely inspired by the movie description in the back there. But this is clearly Ranger mode Aragorn hanging out with probably... Oh, who the fuck is Theoden's Actually, no, it wouldn't be Theoden's nephew. He didn't come back yet.
No, it's...
Might be Theoden himself, for all I know.
No, I think it's...
no, there's a human guy in the
guy's
books
name?
who's in Helm's Deep. I don't remember his name.
Yeah. No, it's God, I think they have a card for it. Like, he's not actually related to anybody.
No,
I'm not posting the card. I'm just looking for
like
the
it could also be Gimli, but one, I don't think his beard's big enough, and I think he's
Gimli.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I think he's just at
No,
Aragorn's like knee level
did.
because Aragorn's putting his boot on the ramparts. Also, no, I don't think we're gonna see Tom Bombadil in his hot wife.
No, that is in the main set.
That would be a much longer video.
this
We are already
random-
we're gonna end at like 3.5 hours, but Dallas will find the guy.
I'm down
But to
doing the. Yeah, I can't find it. We'll just go.
Okay, we'll move on then. We'll look for it another time. We'll figure it out. Our next episode, just so I don't have to do this preamble later, will be whatever wins the whatever's won the Fail Betrayal poll. There's a lightning poll up for patrons for like another day or two. It ends like when July comes around. So if you are a patron and haven't voted, $5 and up patron, or you'd like to become a patron, consider firing off and jumping in that poll. The YouTube members only poll is already closed, and I do want to reopen it. I'm going to tally up the votes from both because a patron did say that they would like a patron poll as well. So I'm gonna combine the votes. And as I joked when they suggested that, I was like, "Fuck it, you could pay me twice to vote twice. Like I don't care about the democratic integrity of Fail Betrayal." So we'll have an episode on whatever archetype that is, and then we're just gonna get back to like whatever. We need to have a Toon episode sometime because Toons are about to actually become meta relevant.
Right.
But we don't need to do that right away, so we can figure out what the hell we're doing.
I mean, we could do the Lord of the Rings one after the Patreon poll if you wanted to. I'm good with whatever.
We'll see. Well, also, I will see how enthused people are about this one. It's gonna be weird because it's a splitsy, but we'll see like what the post game numbers are like, and then if it's like real good, we'll bring it back maybe sooner. If it's more like a normal episode, we'll pace them a little.
I apologize for speaking up every so often, Dallas, but no, I do thank you for being here, Dallas, for giving extra feedback and other bits and pieces for this.
Yeah. We basically can't do the Magic episodes, I think, without Dallas. Like, maybe with Gwyn, because I know she also plays Magic some, but like I feel like Dallas is my rock when it comes to Magic knowledge.
Yes.
Like, there are other funny episodes.
Too much of my life into it.
There's other card games. I should actually look up how Star Wars Unlimited works, so we can talk about like Star Wars card games at some point. Because I think Dallas and me would just have a lot of funny Star Wars time. But we'll work on that one. Tough for the Rampart, 5 mana, red-white, sorcery. Goad all creatures your opponent controls. And until your next turn, those creatures can't block. So until your next turn, those creatures
all your
attack
opponents punch each other in the face.
Yeah. And they must attack a player other than you. And the quote is, it is said that no foe has ever taken the Hornburg if men defended it. Literally, Helm's Deep standing in the ramparts yelling at the army, "Come get some!"
Come get some bitches.
And then that guy runs up with a bomb, and they're just like, "Holy shit, Saruman invented gunpowder.
Yeah.
This shit fucking sucks."
And then they beat him anyway.
We needed just a tiny bit of divine intervention at the end, but we were mostly okay. And then our last...
Look, the evil team has divine intervention on their side. Why shouldn't the good team?
Fair enough. And then our last one, you did mention this before when talking about it, the Lord of the Nazgul, the guy, Wraith Noble, that's
this
great.
Is the Witch King of Angband.
Great guy, by the way. I love that only one of the Nazgul actually gets fucking called out. And it's the Witch King of Angmar, and he's just like, this guy's almost as gnarly as Sauron and Saruman on his own. He's a pretty
Honestly,
bad dude.
he's kind of more badass than Saruman.
Well, it's true, because like he does actually go out and hit people with his giant fuck-off mace.
That also first effect is real good.
Yeah, flying wraiths, you control have protection from ring bearers. It's very funny. But no, like at a certain point in the backstory, which I think a lot of like video games have been set around, the Witch King of Angmar is a bigger threat than Sauron himself, because Sauron gets tapped in the last alliance of men and elves and goes to go hide in Mordor. Yeah. But this guy's still around. That he goes to Angmar, which is like in the foothills where I will say Tom Bombadil is kind of unnecessary for the book. I kind of wish we did have the Barrow Downs, because that is like a weird, freaky mythology segment that like has no other place in the story, but is really cool when they get kidnapped by a fucking zombie, a Barrow White, and they gotta stab him with ancient daggers.
The only other ring wraith that we know the actual name of, because there's some that are called like the Betrayer, which that doesn't tell you anything. But the only other one I know the name of is Kamul. There's one.
I will say, unfortunately, the Mordor games by WB, I think named all of them, including putting some important backstory characters.
They didn't name all of them, but they put
some
really fucking funny ones.
They picked some dumb ones.
I love them. I will unabashedly.
It's pure stupid. It's like pure stupid
so
fan service
dumb,
bullshit.
And if you don't like if you're one of those people who likes, yes, Kamul the Easterling, but no, it's very dumb, and if you're a lore purist, I understand not liking it. But I fucking love how goofy that game is. Where
There's
it turns out
one of the decisions.
One of the ring wraiths is Isildur.
Yeah.
Which is just funny.
One of the Isildur, another one's Helm Hammerhand for no reason other than he had a name, I think.
I mean, that one makes at least more sense than Isildur.
My favorite part, which is, by the way, did you guys know that the character you play as ended up becoming Nazgul? Yeah, he was there up on Rivertop, which just makes me go, where was all of his dumb Nazgul bullshit? Why couldn't he just teleport towards Aragorn and just stab him?
Aragorn threw that. He's the one Aragorn put the torch through the face. Obviously, that turned off all his Nazgul powers.
I think my favorite part was when you learned that Sauron and Shelob hooked up.
Oh yeah, that
I love those games.
That's another one that's like technically Shelob being an actual literal giant spider is also ambiguous in the text, but she's definitely not like a lady. That's funnier for interaction, but like there's a lot of interactions which are clearly trying to like gamerify the setting, which feels a little unnecessary. But it's funny.
Very much okay with it.
Omega, there was a fucking DLC where Galadriel was the voice in your head going, "Hey, do the objective."
It's the Team 4-star meme of they're so dumb, but so cool, but so dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway, to round it out, the last effect of Lord of the Nazgul, who is a flying Wraith Noble, as we said, who's 4/3, is whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you create a 3/3 black Wraith token with Menace. If you control 9 or more Wraiths, your Wraiths become 9/9.
Yeah. That does not only include the counter.
No. That would also include if you other Wraiths you have, and also Wraiths you created with One Ring to bind them, etc. Shit like that. This, I don't know if there's a Wraith tribal deck you can put together with this guy. Blue-black is probably the colors for it, but
there are.
He seems fun. I
also love the way they word it base power and toughness, so even if they did have counters on them already, that's just still additive.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good.
No, he's it's spoiler. There's a card called Nazgul. I'm not going to explain all of it, but all of them is one of the effects of Nazgul is whenever the ring tempts you, put a +1/+1 counter on each Wraith you control. Another effect is any deck you create can have up to 9 Nazgul in them.
I love when Magic does that shit. That's the thing that sorry, not Pokemon. Yu-Gi-Oh hasn't really done. The closest they've come is the newest Atlantean stuff, where they now have monsters whose name becomes Umi on the field. Which is so funny. But like that's the thing that Yu-Gi-Oh hasn't done, which they could totally do with parentheticals because they have, this card is always treated as an Archfiend type shit. I would love to see Yu-Gi-Oh break the number of cards for a thing, but the fact that Magic does that sometimes is super funny. But this is where we end the episode. I'm sorry to rush us out of here, but I've already done some of my preamble, and we have been going a while. Thanks for tuning in for both the Warhammer and the Lord of the Rings stuff. We will do a future episode on the Lord of the Rings main set. It will be a separate episode, or knowing us, probably 2 episodes, because it's a whole-ass set.
And also we have Marvel and Spider-Man and oh god.
Yeah. There's lots of Magic stuff to talk about later. It'll be very funny. I want to save the Marvel for a day for sure when Gwyn can join us.
Yeah.
So we can yap about superheroes. But thanks everybody for tuning in. Like I said, on Patreon you can vote for Fail Betrayal Normal. We'll see who wins it out. It's probably going to be either Kawaki Mairu or Soul Jersey, because I think that's where all the votes are in either of those two. And I have not calculated which one is winning right now. But thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you tomorrow for Final Fantasy XIV, speaking of Final Fantasy. And if you missed it, check out yesterday's Resident Evil Revelations video, where some very fun things happen. And also, Lucky and I get fucking blasted by character designs for like five solid minutes of us looking at a character going, wait a fucking second. Why are you missing one pant leg on your wetsuit, ma'am? That's everything. We're going to see you later. Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye.